So, if you guys keep your eyes peeled, you might see many of these things laying around. I obviously know them all, but I'm not going to tell you. I will tell you one thing. The stage is shaped like a giant circle, and right here it says E-I-G-H-T.
What? That's not how a clock works. 9,
No.
There would be 6 right here.
No, it's not how a clock works. What a mystery. What could it say? Anyway, rather than tell you guys for the next hour and 45 minutes what each one of these things means, perhaps I'll leave it to you. So keep your eyes peeled, not only for the secrets around the event, but also for these amazing teams as we get started with day 2 of the International.
There's definitely no better way to start your day than with a little bit of chaos from both Slacks and Tsunami there. And we're here live from the Barclays Arena in Hamburg, Germany. A lot of fun, a lot of audience members already turning up for such an early Friday morning. And of course, people who have to be by my side that I love being next to. Jenkins, Winter, and Lacoste as well. How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling good. We had some really awesome games yesterday. The crowd was pretty hyped. We had some really nice comebacks as well. One series only did go for a distance, but yeah, I'm expecting a slightly even more competitive games coming out today.
I'm impressed again with the crowd. We have quite the turnout for a Friday morning when yesterday went till was it 1 a.m.?
Very late, I will put it that way.
There's a lot of very tired people here that want to see some good Dota.
How many people in the crowd were here to the end of yesterday?
Oh, that's pretty much everyone.
That's pretty much everyone. They were lost out and first back in here. In fact, some of them might have turned up at the arena before you did, Winter.
Yeah, I can't wait to unravel the mysteries of the arena today. So I came a little bit earlier. Not as early as you, but...
That's right. You know, you're going to put in the long shifts to be able to decode all of the messages. You got to go back, and look at all of the games that we had yesterday. And in fact, we're going to go back and relive some of the hypest moments.
More hits is all they need. They got to take down that Shadow Demon. He's in further trouble with Chrysalis just walking away.
BCM's on X
Nova.
Nova.
Going, but do they have enough damage? Needs a few more avatars. Yes! Q gets him.
Will this Swift Blink open something up for Chrysalis? Will he get lucky with a bash? What does he have?
Jumps in, zips, finds one. It's onto the Beastmaster. Is it going to be enough? He got the Lotus off, but it's onto Ame. He pops the ulti, trying to stay alive, but a huge crit blows up one. Ame turns back now onto the junk, trying to find that kill. Chrysalis, he's out of here. There's another combination. Damage, maybe? No! They're not gonna kill him! Ame is too damn strong!
There's the BKB, no one. It's going to make the jump in. They're going to try and go all out in onto Whisper. Mound the strike to the side, holds down the Glock, but there's Yuma jumping and looking for DM. DM's able to get out to safety though. Yuma's going to try and chase. We'll get the Abyssal connection. Whisper jumps in as well, but DM is going to get forced away. Coil will catch on to him. Refreshes pop as Yuma stays on top of DM. Is able to kill him off. They're going to try and get the jump on Satanic. They get the spear connection, but no one's ready to back him up. Satanic falling low, but the stun comes in on towards Yuma. Yuma pots the BKB. Will be able to take Satanic down once, but it costs Yuma his life. The Ancient are half out. They're going to make the jump. Coming in with the Abyssal, the Red Grip, but Satanic's already able to get the BKB off. Turns towards Yuma, takes the bear down, looks towards Analog. Double kill for Satanic as this series is over.
There's the Mars Arena from Amar himself. Lots of damage onto Shiro with the double spear to follow. Shiro's dead. Bach follows suit. Nothing to say coming in trying to take out the Abaddon, but he activates his ult just in time and heals up to full as a result. There's the cart onto the Shadow Fiend. He'll be able to get off his ult. Actually, the Centaur dies first inside of his own cart.
Bach
Gets off the hoof stomp to try to break the Abaddon, but he already has his ult on as Amar just destroys Y. Cart onto the Shadow Fiend in retreat. They just call GG.
Echo Slam, but he's going to be saved. They do have the burn damage. Here comes the Roar Cataclysm, double Cataclysm, big damage. Oh, the Earthshaker, a little bit more. He gets up the Aphonic Shield, but it is not enough to save him. GPK. Oh yeah! A Coil Static Storm with an Aghanim Scepter, a Snowball pickup. Sorry, GH, all that does, it put you in the kill zone. Pure will go to work on Samael. There's just nothing Nigma Galaxy can do about the team fight now. He's got his blink, he's got his scythe. It's got to be one hell of a jump. Can he get in digest at the right time? And a passive spear out! GPK makes a jump in. The agency gets grabbed by Pure. As good as it was for Noob, it wasn't good enough. Samael falls, sets a die back there, and Ghost is fighting for his and his team's life. But he's got to get out of here. He leaves his supports behind. No! He is stopped at the gates. He will not make it back to his base. Everyone on Nigma Galaxy is gone!
An absolute nail biter to end the day, our first day in the arena. And from that, we form our upper and our lower bracket here. Lacoste having a look at those teams and exactly the matchups. Maybe not the exact number of games we expected, but I think a lot of people predicted the series to be going these ways.
Most likely, I would say. I think the favorites did win, even though the last series could have gone the other way as well. You know, Nigma Galaxy, sometimes they just need that little bit of extra oomph and didn't have it, unfortunately, yesterday. And also the Tundra against Extreme Gaming. I think they had both of these games kind of in the bag at the early stages, and then they made one big mistake and suddenly the game flipped.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I do want to say something about the last series, which I think was the hypest series of the day yesterday, given it's a 2-1. I feel like BB Team are they're sneaking by here under people's radar. The way that they're winning games, the way that they're winning series in this tournament is exactly how they won Wallachia Season 5. Like, this is classic BB Team making it to the grand finals. Like, it could happen again. Like, there's so many potential grand final teams here.
Yeah, I think with the chaos of the road to the international playoffs, how that all played out, people are kind of forgetting that BB Team was that second team to qualify. They were one of the first few. And so it is easy to look at this matchup and be like, the hype of everything. You see it go 3 games. Are they really going to make it any further? Because it wasn't a convincing 2-0 that we saw all the other teams have winter.
Yeah, I mean, for BB Team, traditionally, you would always expect like Pure to be carrying the game. But yesterday in that series, I think especially GPK and Miero, they both played really well, even though Pure he was having a rough time. So it's good to see other players, stepping up when your star carry is not having a very good time.
Yeah, it's just also nice to see different players in a variety of roles pull out something unique, Jenkins, or just playing in a way that causes pure chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they pulled out a Grimstroke yesterday, right? That's not exactly the strongest hero right now, but it was in this game. And in this series that we saw, 9 class played Monkey King as a support. And we kind of thought maybe this was something that was just like more of a flex pick, and they know that 9 class can play it. But nope, they legitimately have just discovered some tech with this hero. The amount of stuff that you can do on the map, jumping around the trees, sniping couriers, cutting waves. You can now do this twofold with the Dominator creep, even in this clip, using the Troll Summoner creeps to block camps. Like, the amount of pure chaos that he created in this game was something that, I don't know, I mean, Monkey King's gotta... You need to start thinking about this hero if you're playing against P-Vision.
I mean, to enable this, right, the support needs to be able to do 2 things. Number 1, you need to be able to infiltrate into enemy territory easily, someone like a Monkey King. And number 2, you need to be able to have a spell to push out waves to farm, also Monkey King. That's why he's one of probably the best heroes to be able to do this on a supporting role.
Yeah. This is what I like to see. Coming into TI, not many people probably expected that Helm of the Dominator is going to be maybe a week ago, but let's rewind a month ago. Nobody would be talking about this item maybe on Marcy, but now you have this upgraded Helm of the Dominator with the things that the 9 class did. So this is the beauty of the game, just taking an idea and making it even better.
I remember seeing a Reddit post that was the top 3 heroes that were going Helm Dom, and it was like Beast, Lycan, and Marcy. And the post was like, this item needs to be reworked. Like, it's so bad. And now it's legit, like every hero. Like, any hero we can find to use Dom, we're going to use it.
Yeah, now we're branching it into supports, finding different ways to use it. That was Purge, he was digging through all of the footage. He found that for us, and it was just so amazing. You want to bring it up again, you kind of got to keep talking about it. Everyone's trying to min-max here, and sometimes that's happening in the draft as well. We're looking towards standout heroes that are, on the extreme ends of win rates or potentially even uncontested altogether. Yesterday, it was so much fun to have 2 brand new heroes at the International, Clinks and Crystal Maiden, and emphasizing uncontested. That means not even banned. Teams won't even worry about banning it, and then they come out and we get them picked in the first 2 series.
And I think Crystal Maiden was an attempted answer to the Dominator meta that we were talking about, but honestly, the Frostbite just didn't seem like enough. I think it would get the Dom to like 50% HP, and then it would just run off.
Setup. I mean, she's kind of like a good setup for your core to come in to kill it, because sometimes the core doesn't really want to commit the TP until he's certain that the creep is going to be locked down, right? So CM kind of provides that. And the other thing I feel why CM could be good right now is a lot of the carry heroes are melee heroes because of Helm of Dom. So CM needs a melee hero in the lane to help her get to the later stages of the game. Because CM is really good
You
later.
guys are talking about the wrong hero. This is Troll Warlord, 10 out of 10 games won. I don't think this ever happened. I don't think there was ever a meta or a tournament where the Troll Warlord did have this amount of games played and did win a single one. Because this was always like a meme hero, especially with his ulti. It's one of the funniest things to see when he's getting kited. We saw some of it yesterday as well. Even though they did win that game, it's still a very strong laner. It gives you ability to farm extremely fast, join some of the fights as well. There are multiple items that you could go for that feel really nice in this meta. Carry-to-carry matchup. Troll's going to be winning most of them as well.
I think also just delayed death is like an inherently broken concept. It's just that with Troll, you need a lot of items to like delay the death and actually do something with it, because you're like literally running in there while you're delaying the death. But we've seen, like Dazzle was part of the meta for a long time.
Helm of the Undying, part of the meta.
Helm of the Undying. This is one of the most broken neutral item. We saw Abaddon getting picked up yesterday. This is like one of the top tier meta heroes. Like, there's just so much overwhelming damage right now that literally delaying your death is very imba. And I think the meta, Troll is allowed to get to that point currently. And like every game that it's played, he gets to the 40-minute plus part of the game, and then he eventually wins. Even if we see like goofy feeding happening early game, eventually he gets to the point where it feels like he's unstoppable.
Yeah, games just having a longer average length at this International. We're going that distance that you're talking about, him being able to find the farm, the space to get those items. The inverse of that, though, that we saw on the graphic, Winter, was Timbersaw. Completely opposite, right? 8 games, but a 0% win rate now. Like, what has happened to this hero for it to now feel like it's not working for any team, because a lot of teams have picked it up?
I mean, I think the hero kind of has like a weird phase in the game where he's really strong. I mean, he's weak early, then suddenly he's strong in the mid game, but after that he kind of falls off very, very hard when people get the dispel for your Aghanims.
Yeah.
But also it could be something to do with the recent change, because people that played Timbersaw a long time have this muscle memory where you actually move your chain so you could actually reach further, and now that it got removed from the game or fixed, and people are like kind of going to take some time to get used to it. So players are maybe losing more on the hero because of that.
All right, so the mobility isn't as big, and your get out of jail free card isn't really there like it used to be.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Does that feel the same for you, Lacoste, when we look at Timbersaw?
Yeah, probably. Timbersaw is just, some of the teams here that are still in the tournament do like to play Timbersaw, and if they're not picking it, especially Team Falcon.
You're talking about Falcon.
Yeah, this is then there's something wrong with the
this
hero
was
that
my
they did not want to touch it.
I had the exact same thought. It's like if Amar doesn't want to play Timber, he will literally call this hero like hot garbage. He will say in interviews, I think it's a garbage hero, I'm just going to pick it. He does the same thing with Bristleback right now, they're winning. And it's like, if he is not picking it, then it's really bad. And I totally agree with the muscle memory. Like, every time Timbersaw's range on his W gets increased, the win rate goes up. Huge. Like, it becomes meta. Every time it goes down, the win rate goes down significantly. Like, there are just some changes in Dota where you see this like cyclical nature, and effectively with the bug fix, the range on it went down. So we're going to see the cyclical nature of the win rate's going to go down.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move away from that a little bit more, because the joy of yesterday, seeing some uncontested heroes popped up, it made us want to look at which heroes are still left uncontested. That teams, I don't know, might want a refresher that they do still exist in this game.
Some of these are really good.
They're good, yeah. I would say that Visage, we're going to be seeing TUNDRA play a game today. They are the ones that could be still picking this hero. I also think that Venomancer definitely has a place in meta.
Yeah, Toby's
in there. It's one of the more annoying heroes who can control the map. It's very difficult to engage into certain areas of the map unless you're using a smoke, and those are also limited. And I also think that techies could also pop up. I don't think this hero is that bad.
I think Amar Viper, like this hero dumpsters Ursa in lane, it dumpsters Sven in lane and in the game, and these are like two really popular carry picks. I feel like Amar is gonna bring it out. And where's this Skywrath Mage? Thompson brings this hero into the meta. Every single pro level pub, you have Skywrath Mage mid, and people are too scared to bring it out at TI. It's so good.
We're talking about teams or people being scared to bring it out, but I remember in the interview yesterday, Parivision, Ducalis was like, yeah, there's some new things we're trying. We're scrimming with it. We've been altering and having a little bit of a go. Winter, do you think that that's a sort of hero that's on the card, or it's still something that's in the meta that they just personally haven't picked up?
Well, I'll only believe it if he shows it, Like, he can say whatever he wants. We have 10,000 heroes behind this, We still have a lot of strategies, but I will only believe it once they use it. With Skyrath, I kind of felt like the hero had a lot of potential initially when I saw the changes to the shard and everything. I've seen some players spam it in pubs, especially as mid, but the issue of the hero still remains the same, right? He falls off really, really hard once there's all these pipes, BKBs coming up, and then it feels like in the game, if you have one death or two death, you kind of just lose the game.
I think the Dominator meta also does not suit him.
He doesn't like
He does not like playing into summons, but it just does so much damage that I feel like it's worth making.
He's fun. Okay.
He's really fun, and it's the problem is,
it's not about fun, Jenkins. It's about winning.
well, no one is not the Pvision like playing weird hero player, right? That would be 9 class, and 9 class has got his Alchemist and his Monkey Kings that he's enjoying right now. We're asking like, where's the 9 class Pudge as well? Pudge seems pretty decent in the meta. We're seeing Whisper play it, but there's just higher priorities for these specialty players is all.
Okay. Well, the heroes aside, I would actually really like to see when our teams are playing, because we are going to be seeing all of our top 8 take the stage again today. It is going to be starting off with the elimination. At the end of the day, we're going to be saying goodbye to our first 2 teams here at the International. But on the flip side of that one, Lacoste, we're going to be having our first 2 teams securing themselves a top 3 position.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting one, especially the upper bracket semis, the first match, Extreme Gaming against Pvision. It's very difficult to choose which teams you think it's going to win, because Pvision, they are showing some great strategies coming out. They have a couple of strategies also in the back of their heads if they want to bang it out. Extreme Gaming as well, they're not afraid. This is Xiao 8 we're talking about, so you can't expect them, especially if you go to the distance, if you're going to that game 3, that there's going to be some really new and exciting heroes coming out.
Yeah, the Tidebound Nigma Galaxy elimination matchup as well. It could have been a coin toss at any point, Jenkins, if it was going to be Nigma Galaxy or BB Team that they were going up against. So it feels like they've had the least amount of time to prepare for that one.
Yeah, that's a really close one as well, because I feel like Tidebound is also the type of team that can just get like 2-0 stomped and then come back the next day and be the best team. Like, I would say this is the most likely team to win the whole thing through the lower bracket. If any team is going to do it, it's going to be Tidebound.
Well, I actually want to look at exactly that, because it feels like, as far as my memory can remember, it's been majority teams from the upper bracket that have gone on to win. And so we collated all of the data for you guys there. And in the history of the Internationals, there have been 4 teams that have gone on to lift the Aegis from the lower bracket.
Out of 13.
Out of 13.
It is very rare that this happens.
I will say, though, out of those 4, we've had 2 teams. It was Spirit and Liquid in their respective years that they won. They were upper bracket, immediately dropped to lower bracket, and went all the way on to win. So it felt like, not round 1, but essentially from the beginning, they were running that lower bracket.
Yeah, it's a lot of games that you need to play. These are 4 BO3s and the best of 5 that you need to win, and you're also showing most of your strategies as well, so you're giving out that data to the other teams as well, showing what you're going to be playing. That's why the upper bracket is the king, even though Nigma Galaxy would disagree. Or Team Liquid.
Team Liquid.
I mean, it is also worth mentioning that when there was the what was the pre-TI tournament called?
Wildcard? The wildcard?
The wild card.
All last chance qualifiers.
The last chance qualifiers. We had the grand finals. Was the two.
That was the Singapore TI that you're talking about, right?
The Singapore TI. So it's there is the argument that like amount of games played does play a huge factor into like is a team very dominant, but in that case there was also a lot more time to process those games. Now we have 2 days left after this one. Is there enough time to process?
I mean, I would argue it could be good for you. So you have more time. As long as you're winning the games, you have more time to figure out what to change, and you get to maybe see more of yourself, and then you have to adjust. Because always during the long periods of the initial stages of the tournament, you're going to have to try something that you've already on the screen, but when you go to the tournament, you see something else, then you have to decide what do you have to adjust, right? So getting those games under your belt is always, I think, a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to start for one of these teams, right? We do have our first elimination up on the table to begin our day with here, our day number 2. It's Tundra up against Heroic. We're going to start talking about this because Heroic coming in, the only team that was representing the Americas, right? Our sole South American team, making it into a top 8. We wanted to reflect back, see exactly what their previous TI results have been, and if this is rivaling it, and it is, right? One of the best that they had was back in TI 11, that 5th, 6th position.
Yeah. Thunder Awaken at TI 11, getting that 5th and 6th place. This was the best placement for South America. Infamous TI 9, which did have Whisper and Schofield. And then you also had the Beast Ghost getting 7th and 8th place at TI 11, which also did have Whisper and Schofield, plus also Heroic and TI 13, which did have Analog, Schofield, and KJ. So that means that Schofield is the big part of those teams, which means that he needs to have good games to be able to reach that. But we can also see some of the personal records. So for Yuma, Analog, and KJ, they already broke their own personal record, reaching into that top 8. Whisper and Schofield, they're there. So if they somehow manage to get a victory in this one against Tundra, all of them are also going to be breaking their personal records, which is still very huge for South America.
Do you think there's that mental hurdle at all, Winter, when you have that feeling of being the sole representative for your region? I mean, you're very familiar with SEA, who have had ups and downs before, so they've been in positions like this too.
I think there's definitely going to be a lot of expectations from the fans from the regions, and unfortunately for the players, sometimes it can be bad for you to think too much into it, and you kind of have to just focus on the game. But sometimes it can also be a good motivation. Everyone is waiting, for that good result, and you're going to have the extra energy to push it through when games are tough.
I think there's also the factor of for the whole year, Heroic has had.
They started the year well.
They started the year well, but since then they've had some mixed results.
Sure.
So it kind of feels like I could see them having the feeling and the expectations of okay, this is the tournament that we're doing really well in. Mm-hmm. We don't want to just have one of those series where it's close, but we drop out. We're so close, and this is where, to me, CAFs really comes in as that mental coach, figuring out where the blocks are. Are there any blocks, and if there are, having those talks with this team and getting those solved.
I actually ran into CAFs this morning in the elevator. I was walking down at just before 7 a.m. and I was really surprised to see him. I knew they're playing the first game, but to see him awake that early, he's walking to the practice room. These guys are just doing so much to be able to prepare themselves, despite it being an early series, despite it being one of the first series of the day.
Yeah, I think a lot of the work has to really fall on his shoes, CAFs on the coach, because based on their recent results, so from the road to the international to right now the playoffs, every game they've played, every series they've played, either they won 2-0 or they lose 2-0. So the first game actually determines, I think, a lot for them, whether the planning for that series works or it doesn't work. Because it seems like they are not really good at adjusting mid-series, or maybe they don't have a lot of variety to change during a match. So I think the first game is going to be really, really important.
Up until yesterday, they had 8 win streak in the road to TI playoffs, which is pretty impressive for a team like this, because they managed to be very consistent. This is something that I would say they've been struggling with throughout the whole year. And yesterday, they let that Monkey King go through twice when they played. And I think it's going to be more about adapting what they think it's going to be strong, how much they're willing to learn from what happened yesterday, not just from their own series, but also watching the other series and try to adapt because meta is constantly evolving.
I will say a part of that 8-game win streak you mentioned was 2-0ing Tundra. We also saw it briefly there, right? They've already faced off against each other in the road to the international playoffs, and that very heavily went to the favor of Heroic.
Yeah, one thing interesting about that particular series as well, Tundra had same opening bans against them in that series, but Heroic they have 10 different heroes in that series against Tundra. They picked 10 different heroes even though their opponent started the bans with the same bans both games.
I don't know, like, how much can you look into that? How much does that change? Like, were they just so prepared, or was it they were trying to cover too much?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it could also mean that they have a philosophy that they don't want to play the same thing over again because the enemy will know how to deal with it in the next game.
I think there's also an interesting dynamic that we need to consider, which is the coaches. You have Moon versus Caps. Yesterday we had Caps versus Disini. These are players who have played together for like a decade, right? Like a lot of the coaches that are still remaining are NA and SA coaches, so they know how each other think. So
you're talking about now the Moon and the Caps matchup.
Yes, it's like
and their familiarity.
It's like, of course we're going to talk about Disini and Caps, like both Brazilian big brain coaches, but it's like, Caps and Moon and Caps and Aoi, it's like these guys have also been playing together on the same server for a decade. They know each other. They know how they think. So I think between these coaches, you're going to see a lot of volatility in the drafting between series. It's like, yes, Tundra did get 2-0'd by Heroic, and maybe they got outdrafted in the road to international, but I don't know how much that means when you have coaches that know each other this well.
Yeah, but that's serious. It wasn't even close. Like, Tundra was having, I think, 9 kills in one of those games only. They got completely stumped. This was also a game where they played Spectre, which nobody else wanted to touch. Yuma had a pretty flawless performance, didn't die a single time. Helm of the Dominator making that hero viable again. And also, I mean, I've been praising Yuma so far throughout the whole tournament, and I feel like he's having the blast of a tournament. Yesterday, when they're in that game number 1, he didn't die on Ursa for a good 50 minutes in a losing game. They decided to pick him Ursa the second time, but it didn't work out as well. But his performances have been top tier so far.
And to add to that point as well, I think right now Tundra feels like they're picking a lot of different heroes, which can be a good thing or a bad thing.
The horn has sounded. I hope everyone in the arena and at home is ready for this, because that sound can only mean one thing. We're ready to kick off day number 2 at Barclays Arena.
The Aegis of Champions. It bears the record, reminding us of the battles we all hold sacred, the triumphs we still celebrate, the legends we will forever revere. It summons the world's finest contenders, allowing us, empowering us to honor the giants of the past, to realize the magic of the present, to witness the origins of the epic stories of tomorrow. Now we gather at the final proving ground, where the path to victory is ever-changing. But the cheers of the arena will always guide the way. The Aegis of Champions arrives in Hamburg, Germany. A beacon of challenge that shines around the globe. 8 teams compete for ultimate glory. Only one can seize immortality. Who will emerge victorious? The battle begins.
Our top 8 after this will be dwindled down to a top 7. Tundra up against Heroic coming into it. Jenkins coming back out to the stage for day number 2 as well. Does that make the emotions higher, or you're just stabilizing now?
I don't know if they can stabilize. I mean, this is the international we're talking about, but I don't know. I don't know if this team wants to be stable anyway. Like, they play the best when there is chaos. For Tundra, yeah, they want to be stable, and I think they're more likely to be stable because, you know, you got 33 on that team. This is the only potential 3-time TI winner. So if there's anybody that's going to bring stability to his team, it's this guy.
Well, I don't want to leave our audience waiting any longer, and definitely not our teams either. We want to bring them out on stage, so let's kick off with our first team, Tundra.
And we're back.
Tundra Esports.
And we're back.
These 5 players are now facing up against elimination. If anyone can bring their A game in such a tight situation, it's definitely them. They've been here before. They've done it before for themselves, but this time around, isn't going to be a different story. They're going to be having to come up against some tough competition in the name of Heroic.
Wisely and crush those responsible. Heroic.
Representing the South American region, had a bit of a struggle yesterday. However, today there is still a chance to continue on in their journey toward the international. 3 of these players have already bested their previous results at past events. They want more. This team is hungry, and it's there for their taking if they're able to step up and bring it to Tundra today.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, this is a brutal and emotional series. Either we are losing one of the most fun teams to watch in Heroic and the remaining South American pride, or
Tundra.
losing Tundra, who has the one potential 3-time TI winner in a giga-brain genius that is 33. Like, this guy invents metas in Dota. So no matter what, going home today will be a very significant team.
I mean, don't forget about 333. 3 TIs.
I will not forget about 333. You keep reminding me, Winter.
He loves them. I'm telling you, Winter is such a fan of the numerology there, all the stars aligning. Some could potentially say there, Lacoste.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Heroic on the other side, we saw some of the issues that they did have yesterday, and I want to see those issues being fixed, especially in that game number 1 where they didn't have, like, they had very aggressive heroes that they wanted to play. They had Pudge, they had Clockwork, they had Crystal Maiden, so they wanted to be on the other side of the map, but they couldn't really push out the waves. So I think Cass and the crew kind of need to realize, and I hope they did, that something like this cannot be able to happen because their map is getting smaller. They're getting out-farmed areas where you can't farm, like also could get you potentially killed. And I want to see Yuma again on some kind of a tempo carry. He's been pretty impressive so far, but if he's dictating the tempo of the game, that also means that Heroic is doing really well. Whisper, one of my favorite offlaners of all time. This guy has been looking super stable throughout most of his career. Usually he doesn't take as much farm, so he's given enough farm to his mid laner, to his safe laner, and he's building the items that kind of evolve around the team. So this is what I want to see. I think that the dynamic that they did have at the road to the international playoffs did work out for them, and I want to see them replicate that.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, I don't think we need to see any like crazy adjustments from them to see a highly competitive series here. I mean, even after yesterday, Yuma is still #1 in terms of average kills per game in this tournament. He has the record, and by a huge margin. It's him with 11 average kills, then Ame, Kiyotaka, Skeeter, and Pure with all like 9, like 8 to 9. So he's much higher, even with the series yesterday that was kind of rough for them.
I think Yuma is the best twin gate user when it comes down to making the rotations happen. I mean, it also does allow him to play, because of the heroes that he's playing. You know, he's playing that Monkey King, he's playing that Meepo, so going through the twin gates, he's playing Nature's Prophet, allows him to go in, not necessarily with the Nature's Prophet to go through the twin gates, but be very active at the early stages of the game. Like between 6 and 8 minutes, you kind of can't expect him to make this move.
Yeah, we could talk about gameplay and the weight that the execution has when they do get that draft, but going into it as well, Winter, there's a lot of preparation you can do beforehand, looking at, do you want to favor a Radiant side, a Dire side, a first pick, second pick, how exactly you're going to build your draft around having that choice and information.
Yeah, as you know, numbers, they are kind of my thing, so I like to look at them. And basically what we found out is for TUNDRA, whenever they are last picking Neta's hero, they're winning. You know, whenever they're last picking their mid or the carry, it doesn't really go so well for them. That's why they prefer to be on the first pick side, where they secure Neta's hero early. They don't want to get into a situation where the enemy is banning out all the top tier heroes for Neta, and they can't really figure out what to give him at the end. You know, so I think that should be their plan right now here for TUNDRA. Whereas Heroic, I'm sure they know about this, and they're going to be trying to devise something to mess this up.
Yeah. Well, then what about the side of Heroic and their numbers?
I think they're also really, really similar. As you can see here, they are a team that prefers to be on the first pick side. They win a lot more on the first pick, which I think I already brought up slightly yesterday, where I feel like having the 18 pick on the first pick side just gives you a lot more leeway. And whereas nowadays, having the second pick, having the 24th pick, just doesn't feel as appealing as before, because teams are really good at using the bans to remove good heroes. So whenever you get to that 24th pick, it's very rare that, oh my god, there's this hero right now, I'm going to pick this hero, we're going to win the game. You know, it's just not going to be possible right now. So
my theory on this is that since the Facets patch, there's a lot more answers to those like last pick cheese heroes. You know, you pick Huskar, and there's like something that you can do in the game. Like Parivision, what they'll do against Huskar is they'll put a sentry in the tier 2 tower in the off lane, so DM can have a lane. And then they dual lane mid, right? So it's like not only have the Facets made it so that you can go for like a less greedy Facet and, you know, beat some sort of matchup, but also there are like play options that people have figured out. So having those 2 bans to protect the last pick out of the second phase of picking is just much more valuable for these really good
I mean, also the sequence, right? I think the sequencing of the pick order has changed a lot. So right now, being on the first pick side, in the first phase, you have 3 bans, but you have the last ban before you pick your first hero. So that itself is already, for me, a very big advantage of being on the first pick side. Because so if you want to, for example, pick something like a Puck, and you know Void Spirit is a counter, you could potentially ban out the Void Spirit on the 8th ban, and then you pick your Puck, you know, something like this, you know. So being on the first pick side definitely feels a lot easier to execute the plan of the team.
Yeah, I do agree with that one. Having overall last pick doesn't feel as impactful. I think a good example is Malrine, because he's the best in the world when it comes down to not playing into unfavorable matchup for him. So he's dragging the creep wave, he's manipulating, he's going to be playing his Primal Beast underneath the tier 2 enemy tower, the safe lane, dragging multiple creep waves, plus farming the jungle. So there's ways to play with it, and I think teams overall just got way better at understanding what they need to do in the last ban phase to be able to protect the heroes that they just picked.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway, for at least for TUNDRA's side, is they need to secure Neta's hero right away.
Okay.
For them to have a really good plan.
And then what about Heroic? What's their takeaway then?
I think for Heroic, they are going to just, do their own thing. If we are going to understand what they're doing, it means they're probably going to be losing the game, you know.
I agree.
I feel like whenever you understand their draft, it means that they don't know what to do, they don't have a plan. But whenever you don't understand their draft, it means that they have something going on, you just have to sit down, relax, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, trust the process. Trust whatever chaos is ensured to follow.
I think so too. And honestly, like, this is how this team functions as well. And it's ironic because both 33 and Analog said in interviews that neither of these 2 players, and it's completely separate by the way, they don't focus on the results, they just focus on doing the right thing, and then the results that they want will come from that. But they're very objective at just focusing on the process, like you said. And I think the process has been working for them, right? Pick Pudge Clockwork off lane and create some chaos.
Yeah.
It worked. I think they should have done that game 2 yesterday.
I mean, don't know about rushing eggs.
Go back to that.
Rushing eggs and clock might have been a bit too much. I think you need something in between.
Minor
One small
changes,
item.
yeah.
Just have to tweak it. But I want to see something from Tundra that they've been doing really well. I also don't think that Tundra is going to be able to get the hands on Invoker throughout the rest of the tournament. Doesn't matter how many games, how many series they're going to be playing, because they look way too good with it, because they have this Invoker, Helm of the Dom, Drums, Alacrity, plus you have Pipe, potentially another Dominator from the offlane. It's just too good of a momentum coming out from them, but I'm sure they can figure things out, because yesterday they had very, very good things that they've shown, but they unfortunately lost both of these games.
Enough time has passed. These players are sitting in their booths, and there is one thing left to do. Everyone here at Barclays Arena, get ready for our very first series and our first game of the day.
Versus Heroic Game 1.
Yes, we finally have a draft underway. We don't have to theorycraft what preparation these teams have brought to the tables. We're going to see it all unfold. Our very first elimination series, Tundra, Heroic, exactly where it's going to fall for themselves. And I do want to know how much is going to be pointed towards the teams in these bands, and how much are they going to be looking at what's in the meta, what's been really stable for win rates throughout the past week of the road to the International and our day one of the International.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, you can look at the win rates, but you also have to remember who you are, right? I don't think you can just basically just blindly follow the meta. You have to understand your players, what are they good at. But so far, looking at the bands, they are quite similar from their first meeting, right? When they were on the first pick side, they also chose to remove similar heroes here, and they're going to open up with a Marcy.
Extremely strong hero, just in general. I mean,
yeah, Tundra actually didn't let it through the last time.
Yeah. To be honest, like, if you want to blame something for the Helm Dom trend, this is the first hero. People realize that when you put the Marcy buff on the creep, every time it gets hit, you hit. Every time it hits, you hit. You can actually buff something and use the buff aside from having a teammate. It's like there are all these, you can jump off the creep, and it's like, oh wow, this is so good on Marcy. Turns out it's just good on everything. But this was the start of it all.
And this Tiny doesn't say anything for them. Mostly it has been played out by Saksa. They really love to run Enigma plus Tiny lane. This has been their staple ever since they played on the old Tundra as well. This is something that puts a lot of pressure, allows Tiny to roam around freely, maybe make a move, like pick up a bounty rune, secure the active runes as well, maybe even gank the mid lane if the opportunity does allow you to do so. So potentially in the back of their heads, they should start thinking about this Enigma. It's, again, Helm of the Dominator, something that Tundra definitely wants to buy from the offlane.
I think also Tiny is pretty hard to play into as Marcy. Like, Marcy, in her nature, like, will get in there and fights, and you can't really get out. And, you know, heroes like Tiny, you can just casually throw an avalanche on the ground, prevent some sort of initiation. You can toss her out. You can toss her, you know, back into your team. You also have the Tiny innate, where you are taking less damage every time she hits you, and of course she does these like small instances, well actually big instances of damage.
Yeah, not small.
But very quickly, and you're reducing her damage. It's pretty hard to kill a Tiny. So I think in general, like, he likes playing into Marcy. And believe me, this hero is in every single pub right now, pro level pub. It is very hard to find heroes that actually like playing into Marcy. So
I mean, would you say that a Tiny carry would be valuable against a Marcy? I know it's not a very popular thing. Because if the Marcy is carry, you want a good matchup.
I think that idea of like getting in there against Tiny is hard is the same whether it's a support or a carry. So.
Yeah, what does it offer more as a carry than the support?
And you have more items, you stand there, you fight him.
Marcy, you can stand your ground more.
Yeah, you can stand your ground more. Marcy usually has trouble finding heroes that can fight. You have trouble finding heroes that can fight Marcy.
I was going to say, I don't think you stand your ground against Marcy ever. I think you get the hell out of there. You toss her out and you run away. You wait for her ult to be over. That's my experience with the hero. Like, I really feel like it's very hard, especially if Marcy's going for like the Daedalus build, to find heroes that will actually be able to stand your ground and like out DPS her. I think you have to kite the fights against her, and Tiny's like the best fight kiter in the game. One of them.
And you have to buy Falstaff as well on that hero.
Absolutely.
Gills, Falstaff.
Yes, all of these items.
There's a couple more bans coming out from Heroic, the Sand King and the Queen of Pain. So this mid pool lowering a little bit more on the side of BZM and what he's lacked to play so far at this tournament.
BZM had a bit of a struggle yesterday when he played that Earthshaker. It's the combination of the two things. We saw a bit of unfortunate sequence of events with that healing salve that did happen, playing into unfavorable matchup, but also not being allowed to enter his own triangle. A lot of his camps did get blocked, and there was also Sanking that was farming in the same area. So I think Tundra is going to be making sure that those issues don't occur again. And I also want to see BZM on a tempo hero. I want to see him, because that game he got completely shut down playing from behind with the naked blink dagger. It didn't look too good, but this hero has been looking amazing in the last couple of tournaments as well. This hero is just a lane bully, dominator.
Especially against Marcy.
The win rate, I would say, doesn't paint the story how strong Pugna is.
No. And they banned Silencer. I think Silencer is like one of the better answers to Pugna. Pugna is so good at saving and protecting somebody, and Silencer can just like...
I mean, not just the Pugna, right? Because I think Dominic mentioned the Enigma earlier. Because based on the bans, they already banned out Gyro and Silencer, and Enigma is like one of the better lane partners with Tiny. And I think if they want it, they are probably going to have to pick it here because they're not going to get it last.
Yes, I think Enigma is definitely coming out. I also feel like Heroic probably knows about this because of all the bans. Even
you see those two bans.
Even Silencer, like, this is a very good hero against the Black Hole. I do want to say Shadow Demon against Pugna. You cannot decrep and save somebody from all of the Marcy damage because SD's ult is constantly purging, right? So they go with the immediate hard counter, and they're actually going to double counter it.
Yeah, now you have a save and you have a BKB piercing tool as well. Even though Enigma, gets BKB at the later stages of the game, it's more about the tempo, getting these early drums, getting these Helm of the Dominator, so you can, tanking things up if you need a pipe to buy. These are the type of items that Enigma will buy. But I see Heroic with very aggressive drafts. You have Shadow Demon and Batrider, which is going to be... These are probably two of the best heroes in the game to be able to get the stacks going in the triangle, just stacking the jungle in general. Now you need a hero who can actually clear the stacks.
Yep, the Batrider isn't as straightforward, though, as definitely a support because they've already played it on three different...
Yes.
Three different players at the moment.
They actually prefer it as a core, which is very interesting. Yeah. I think if it's a tiny mid for Tundra, now all of a sudden you have to be worried about Batrider coming mid and destroying you. I really love, like, anytime I see a South American team, especially a team with Schofield on it, picking a repositioning-based hero, I always think that they have a way higher chance of winning the game. South America historically has won games off the back of being better at team fighting than opponents. Like, I remember the narrative in NA was always, when it was NA versus SA, you do not fight SA. You try to outplay them on the map because they will outfight you. They know how to play these repositioning-based heroes. So I love that Heroic is going back to the Batrider.
I mean, which is why we see the Dux here. Dux here is really good at like splitting the map, pushing the waves, making it hard for lineups like Heroic here. They want to kill you, but you push the waves and you make it very difficult for them to deal with the map. And on top of that, you're going to buy the auras, right?
Yeah.
The auras are going to be very, very good against like Marcy, Batrider. Sure, you have the Demonic Purge somewhere down the road, but it does make it difficult for Heroic's lineup to fight.
And if you want to kill a hero, you probably need to commit with multiple ultis on side of Heroic, because now you have Pugna, so you need to dispel that. So you need Shadow Demon ulti, you need Batrider ulti, because you need to start thinking about the Decrypify, Surge, maybe even just a casual tossback should be able to get the Tundra's heroes out of position and make sure that they are going to be running away from that gank. So the heroes on side of Tundra are not that easily killed, and I really like this Storm Spirit from Tundra that came out just now on 17, because it does. We've seen yesterday BZM going for a bit of a newer tech, something that he showed before, but I don't think he showed it on the Storm Spirit, going for that Holy Locket, Soul Ring, pretty much having infinite mana as well. Pugna unfortunately doesn't give you mana anymore with the life drain, but it's still like that's why he needs to think about himself, buying that Soul Ring, buying that Holy Locket.
Yeah, I feel like right now Heroic is kind of baited to pick Puck. It looks like a really good Puck game, other than Into the Tiny, who has like a good disable for the Puck. But also, I'm pretty sure Batrider against Storm mid is pretty bat favored until later on in the game, where Storm doesn't mind playing so much against Bat. So I guess the question is, like, does Analog make this call? It's like, yes, I'll destroy this guy mid. Give me the Batrider, or does he just ask for, give me the Storm counter? It's Puck, right? It's also a backline jumper to deal with the Pugna as well.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger question, right? Is how else are you going to be dealing with these supports? Do they have another pick lined up that's going to help them a bit more in that Earthshaker that has now been picked up?
Still could be mid, could be off lane, could be 4 position. We don't know.
Dude, Shaker in Arena every time. It's so good.
There it is. Oh, they have it on the main stage. All right, good. I do like Shaker against backline save supports in general because you can go in, echo some frontliner, and then Pugna can't save because you just fissure the backline, right? It's kind of like, it's ironic that the way that you deal with the backline supports, that if you want to jump one hero, you actually need AoE, not single target. And obviously Shaker has plenty of AoE.
I mean, the hero is just very valuable right now because he is probably one of the best team fighters right now in the game. He does so much damage, he can clear stacks, he does everything for you. He scales, and I feel like he doesn't really have like games where I feel like I see Earthshaker and I get, oh, the Earthshaker is not going to do much in this game, you know?
He always does something.
Yeah, I always feel like Earthshaker is going to do something in that particular game.
Yes.
He's just a very useful hero.
I think the only time so far this international we've seen Earthshaker not do anything is when it got completely dumpstered and shut down in lane. But then still, it almost won. After having like the worst laning stage ever, Echo Slam the Ancients, you're back online, and then it still had some profound impact.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a hero that can farm the Ancients with all of these stacks that are going to be happening, and which better hero to do so. Like Earthshaker, you also can't invade enemy triangle. I saw Nigma yesterday against the BB team try to invade, and they got immediately wiped. Like one hero died instantly, so there's not something you can do against Earthshaker. If you go in there, and they have very good heroes that they can defend the triangle with, so I think you're gonna have to let it go, or you have to be able to be in there, maybe try to block so that they don't get the stacks going, be very annoying for them, because Earthshaker, he's gonna hit the right timing.
I'm sorry, I have to make a point of this. Imagine being such a toxic team that the last two bans are Pudge Meepo against you. Like, what sort of team is this to play against?
Because they're still trying to hedge their bets exactly what is going to be playing core right now, what is going to be the Yuma hero, if it's been picked up already, if it's still out there, what's going to potentially be going mid too. So they're just like, let's take away some comfort, something that causes chaos in their games and something they thrive on.
Yeah, I think that's a very good choice because against a team like Hero, you know they are not going to follow the meta 100%. So it's good the idea to take away their comfort picks here, even though some may argue it doesn't really make sense with their lineup. But again, you know, like I said, if you don't understand their draft, it usually means they have a very good chance of winning.
That's what they're trying to take away for themselves. Heroic, though, ABBA and Faceless Void are the two bans.
Yeah, that makes me think that they want Batrider core.
Yeah, most likely. Time dilation is very, very good against you.
Okay, they're sticking with their Ursa. They did lose 2 games yesterday, but we also talked about how Yuma had a great game, that one game where he didn't die for a really long time. I really like the ABBA ban as well. Faceless Void is also a very good ban, but Abaddon could have made it very difficult for them because what they want to do is go in and be able to kill a hero instantly, and now you have a Dark Shield, you have a Photic Shield, ABBA that could have potentially popped the ulti, which would mean that you can't kill those heroes that easily. And here's a 100% win rate hero. This is very, very good because it does allow you, like we've seen a bunch of trolls going into the Battle Fury into Manta style, potentially even picking up Aghanim Scepter, which I think could be very, very good this game because you are going to be dispelling yourself, you are going to be dispelling Ursa, and if Ursa doesn't have overpower, it's on such a low cooldown that carry-to-carry matchup just favors Troll. Ursa,
I mean, also the stacks, right, from Batrider. That's very, very useful.
Okay, here's a question, though. Does Troll not get obliterated by Batrider in lane? Like, I feel like that one is not even remotely close. Like, he could feed relentlessly. I think Tundra's going to need to play into Whisper's lane and try to deal with him early on. Otherwise, like, he could run away with the game.
I think Saksa will need to be very active and try to fix the problems that Jenkins just talked about because you have no stuns whatsoever. When they decide to go on you, this is going to be Troll with Pugna, and you have Batrider as a core plus Schofield on Marcy, so you have a way of bouncing them back with 2 abilities.
Yeah.
Not going to be an easy lane for them, so I think they might need to manipulate the creep wave top, make sure that the Darkseer is going to be getting the farm, and then make sure that they have TPs ready, especially on Tiny, to be able to help them out in this bottom lane when they dive.
I mean, not even TPs, so I think if I'm looking at both sides draft right now and I'm Tundra, I'm going to be willing to take a trade where I'm going to sacrifice my offlane to make their offlaner poor, because if you look at Bat and Darkseer, if both of them are poor, it's probably going to be worse for the Batriders team, because Batrider needs a lot of farm to snowball the game.
Darkseer can just cut the wave too.
Yeah.
So you're kind of confident when you're in being the Darkseer can stay by himself. He might struggle a little bit, but ultimately shutting down that safe lane.
Yeah, even with the fastest alone, he's going for hard for battle, so he has move speed in the lane. So I think it's okay. He's already going to be ready to play alone. and making sure that he's going to just go back to the jungle, try to run around, pull creeps, and make sure he gets some farm.
All right, and what about yourself, Jenkins? Because
I agree with the rotations that need to come in, but I also think King Jungles can then rotate, and then you've Ursa versus Darkseer, and that's fine for Ursa. Like, I actually think Whisper is going to run away with this game. I think Heroic has a lot of options here.
Okay, so it feels like, you know, the fan favorites in the arena right now, Heroic, that's where you guys are siding for it?
I'm going to go with Tundra. I don't think Troll can lose. I think Troll might maintain 100% win rate throughout the rest of the tournament.
Well, that's not the note I wanted to end on. I wanted to end on a high note for all of the SA fans out there. So let's head on down to Slacks, who does have Caps with him.
Hey everybody, that is right here. SA fans in the crowd going ham, supporting you guys. Good to see it here so early in the morning here today. But let's start things off. Caps, there were very targeted bans coming at your way from this team. Were you a little nervous? Did they get in your head a little bit? A lot of your classics, you know, the Silencer coming out, other heroes that you guys excel at?
Not really. I think we have way too many heroes this tournament. If we don't manage to end up with a good draft, it means I fucked up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we worked very hard on it because I felt like earlier this year we weren't matching the better teams, but I think here we're ready and I really like what we got.
Oh, okay. So even though you didn't get Pudge or Meepo, you would consider this not a fuck up?
Yeah.
Now you're up against Troll Warlord. This hero has that 100% win rate. Is this the game that the Troll finally falls, where your Bat Rider be good enough to take him out?
Well, I think everyone here has seen Whisper playing this hero believes is enough.
All right. Well, it's about time for us to get that show started. Are you any words out there to the fans and the crowd out there?
Thanks for coming, guys.
All right. Let's get into the match.
There we go, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all here in Hamburg. We're getting ready to get right into the action. As you can see, the game has begun. Down here in the lower bracket, Heroic up against Tundra. And indeed, it's got to be a bit of a scary situation, right? When you end the draft against a team that's getting this carry hero that's yet to lose.
100% win rate.
100% out of a decent amount of games as well. What, 10 games we've seen it. Won every single one of them, the Troll Warlord hero. Now, the question is, what have they got against it? And do you think this was something that maybe they anticipated, or with the way the draft played out, do you think it might have caught them by surprise?
I would hope that they would have anticipated it, especially if they were picking this Ursa last, because Troll has traditionally been a very good counter versus that Ursa. I think it's because they have this super aggressive dual lane top, like Jenkins was mentioning. The Bat Rider, the Marcy, they absolutely can snowball kills, but let's see if they can even do that, because I've just seen, I don't know, I've seen Pugna kind of push away most heroes from getting aggressive, even Bat Rider, so let's see how they're able to do so. Because, too many times this tournament, I've been like, oh yeah, they're going to be able to go aggressive versus this Pugna in the lane, and Pugna just ends up withstanding the pressure, or they end up turning kills because of how much the hero's able to do just poking and prodding in the laning phase. So, let's see how Toby's able to push away that aggression that comes. Speaking of Toby, he might just die.
Oh, see if he can get away from this one. He cannot. First blood here for Schofield, who will end up going, well, surely going down in response. Final right click from Chrysalis will indeed get the trade, but not before that first blood is secured by Heroic.
Lane shenanigans from both sides. Toby was catching the wave because Schofield was pulling on the other side, and he gets caught. A little flame break pushback that comes in from Whisper, and this is what they're looking for, right? That's exactly what Heroic wants to do in this lane, is just get kills, try to snowball Whisper, but there is going to be that counter kill, of course, that comes in for Chrysalis. Now we can look at these other lanes. The Ursa, Yuma. Second game yesterday was pretty tough, I would say, for him.
That game, I feel, was kind of tough for the whole team.
Yeah.
Right? That was not Heroic's finest showing yesterday in that game, too.
So this one, he does get to pick the Ursa versus the Darkseer, which has been a traditional counter pick in terms of the laning phase, but let's see how this traditional counter matchup works nowadays versus the Dominator meta, because I think things have changed, right? Ursa can kill these Dominator creeps, but a Darkseer with Dominator can also pressure the Ursa in a different way that it used to be, where Ursa and Darkseer just trade farm versus each other.
Now we'll see, because you got to imagine, right, from Tundra's point of view, this Ursa pick was not a surprise, right?
No,
they came here today very ready to play against Yuma's Ursa.
And, I mean, something else we do have to mention, you were talking to me about it on the car ride over here, the mid lane, right? BZM versus Analog. Analog yesterday had a bit of a tough one, especially on that Shadow Fiend, right? Those 30 denies that we saw coming out from Noah already. Some big damage from BZM.
He's playing it chill. He's got to fire a couple of bottle charges to rely on, so just holding back, living on the edge here, Analog. But definitely starting to feel a bit of the heat here from BZM. Top lane, Heroic. Going to try and make the go on a Crystallis, but he did have the chance to put the stick and maybe turn. Another blast comes in, but Crystallis will fall. Heroic able to push for the kill. Toby also taking a hell of a lot of damage here from Whisper. Whisper wanting to finish off the job, and he'll get it. Double kill for Whisper on the bat. I mean, we heard from the start, right, you know, indeed, the fans know it as well. Whisper's bat can absolutely perform.
Yeah, and I'm glad they already are going to play much more aggressive, because yesterday, you know, we were seeing a bit more passive style from them. This is a lane that just breathes aggression, both the Marcy and the Batrider. Great ways to get on top there too, as we see. So Crystal is definitely going to have a bit of a slowdown, even with the Pugna behind, because Toby dying level 1, he's still level 1. Still doesn't have the ward to be able to push him off. Now he's gotten the 2, but a bit of that damage is done in the lane already. 10 CS on the Troll.
Yeah, super hot start for Whisper. Meanwhile, over in the river, we'll see the setup here from King Jungles. TP's coming in. They've got the lockdown for BZM. Fisher comes into play. Jump forward. Here's the rotation. Come through from Schofield. They take down BZM, and they'll be able to outnumber and surround Saxa, slowly chase him down. There's nowhere for the Tiny to run. Heroic starting to bring the action early this game. 5 kills to the one that Tundra's managed to find so far in this first 4 minutes. They're bringing that action. This is what we need to see from this squad.
This is the Heroic that everybody wants to see. Just constant aggression, looking for bullying. They're leaving Yuma now in this lane alone, since he's versus the 33 Darkseer. He should be pretty okay down here. And I mean, Schofield, he can look to be pretty active. Looks like Whisper is going to be pretty okay in this top lane with this start for now.
And just having very nice heroes to get active with as well, whether it's sort of swinging into the mid and getting the Shaker in on top of this Storm early, or just allowing Whisper to close that gap against the Troll and put the pressure onto Crystallis in this laning stage.
Heroic woke up this morning. They definitely had their breakfast nicely, because these moves are ready. You see the rotations, they're quickly swapping lanes too. Schofield now is bottom. Shadow Demon's starting to get the stacks going for his Earthshaker. Probably because Analog's saying, yes, he's gotten the kill, but in terms of CS in the lane, still wants to get those early stacks because of how beneficial it is for the Shaker.
And on that bottom lane as well, is there a chance for Heroic to also find kills down here, or against the Tiny Darks here it's a little more difficult, or it can still happen?
Absolutely can, but they're just going to play in a different way now, where 33 is just going to be jungling, but maybe, I mean, Schofield is looking for some tricky stuff here, and he might be able to find a free kill. Let's see how bold he is to go forward. 33 will be fine.
Yeah, he's ready to back up and refuel, so he'll be out of harm's way. And of course, you know, Tundra's lineup, it's just the fact really that they have this kind of Darkseer Tiny. I feel like this has been a duo that we've seen a lot of teams hit a real sort of sweet spot with, right? This combo, it's a classic.
And it's them mostly. Honestly, it's Tundra who have been the ones playing it the most. They even opened up with the Tiny this game, so showing how much they prioritize it.
Talking about the Tiny, Saxa, they'll make his way up there, make sure that they have the numbers to take down King Jungle's Whisper. Should be all right here. Able to keep his distance, has Firefly and Flame Break at the ready. Nice. Necessary.
Sox is still in the area with a combo, so Whisper does have to be careful.
But look at this rotation from Analog, making the move here with the Invis Rune. They do have a sentry down, so if they get some further vision around there, they should have eyes on him.
And they see him now.
And they will, so not able to catch them by surprise with this Invis.
The beauty of this combo, though, with the Marcy is he can just throw him in, right? You can get the Echo
Yeah, you've got to be careful. Absolutely. You can't get anywhere close to this Shaker when Schofield's around, because, you'll get caught straight in the combo.
Pretty cool combo, for sure. As we do see, it's 5-2, but Tundra, the economy game, it's there for them.
It's perfectly
CS,
fine,
they're doing just fine.
Yeah, 33 having a final time on the side of the map.
Yep, 33 will check. He'll see his camp is blocked, but he'll still have a secondary one available. But very good preparation as we see Heroic. Double wards, or multiple wards to block camps, scouting information. As we said, they are definitely looking to have a much better early game than they did yesterday. And that early game is very important, as you said. You know, Darkseer, king of team fight. If you don't get a good early game and the team starts to round together around those auras and dominators, it can be very hard to fight against unless you have an advantage.
So bottom, Sacks up. He's going to have the avalanche and the toss back. It's a good amount of control there onto Yuma, and with the damage from BZM, should be the end of the bear. Yuma falls. BZM makes a strong rotation. Same time top. They're going to put the pressure onto the carry as well. They get another chance to take Crystallis down. So both safe lanes starting to feel a bit of heat.
Truly trying to snowball Whisper, though. You see that. They're just trying to get all the kills possible for this Batrider to take control of the game. Mid, Analog, looking for Toby.
Schofield a little too far to connect. Up to the tier 2. Gets a bit spooky, so Toby will be fine for now.
Doesn't want to throw the Echo. Might have had enough damage there, but decides to hold on to it, perhaps for a core kill, or maybe for his Ancients, since it is getting very stacked up, perhaps wanting to reserve it for that.
and are constantly pushing out the waves as well. So already getting a decent amount of early damage done onto that mid-tier 1 here, Heroic, with the way that Analog's just constantly shoving forward.
And let's see how they prepare now for bottom. Dominator's done, so 33 is going to start getting this extra pressure. I mean, the tower's dead, so let's see how they do want to react. It looks like it will be pressure on the opposite side as we see Whisper take out the tower. See what build he goes for. It looks like Whisper's going standard. He's not going any deviated build on the Batrider. I was wondering maybe if he does do something crazy like Dom. But
there we go. There we go.
Boom!
Easy slam there with the amplified damage, easy stacks, and that's that's going to be the timing done. Very nice and fast this game. Meanwhile in the jungle, BZM and Saxa, they'll hunt down Schofield.
Finding quite a bit.
These are good early little moves here from BZM, up and down between the kind of the mid, the bottom, and hanging around this jungle of Heroic. He's finding himself a couple of early kills as the Storm Spirit.
Saxa being the all-important one to set up for these kills, since he is really the only aggressive hero on
They want to try and get 33 out of the lane. Jump forward there. Here's the blink reveal. Analog able to shut off the escape. It's a good, solid showing at the blink. And indeed, as we see, a crazy timing here with those stacks they're able to prepare for him and how well he did in the lane. A hot start here from Analog, which is, we needed to see, right? Because as you said, that second game yesterday, not so hot at all.
No, love to see that. And we did see KJ, right? King Jungle's level 6 pretty early on the Shadow Demon. Versus Darkseer, it's one of the best heroes in the game. Use Purge him. As long as you get that Demonic Purge up onto the DS, he can usually not disengage, as they'll find the creep as well.
Of course, whilst this is all going on, we're seeing at the top side, Crystalis getting that space. Had quite a bit of pressure early on, but absolutely still in position where the Battle Fury timing shouldn't be too terrible. And if he kind of gets to maintain this part of the map and have the team keep the pressure, or at least keep Heroic's focus on their side, this Troll should be able to catch up.
Yeah, should have pretty similar farm to the Ursa, it does seem like it, with the way that things are going down. Power Rune. Saxa will find a haste. Take that one away from Analog. How is Analog's Echo cooldown? 30 seconds.
It's coming up soon.
Likely the next play that Heroic wants to make.
And they could make that as well with, Whisper buying up the Ogre Club by the looks of it. So yeah, just getting this BKB rush this game.
So changing the build a little.
Yeah,
usually I
switching
see him,
around.
He's very about the drums the early game. So this, I think he's just saying, I really need this BKB to go through all this magic damage. Because if he doesn't have it, right, and he tries to initiate and run in, he will just likely get popped. It's a ton of magic burst that Tundra has, so.
And I think it's fine, right? You've already got your mid shaker. They've got a very quick blink dagger timing for the initiation. And obviously you're playing with a Marcy with pick me up. So just being able to survive seems more important for Whisper in this role, this game as the bat, than getting that jump himself.
Yeah, I agree. I thought perhaps maybe the drum, but I think this is just a better pickup in particular.
Here we go.
See the
they
next
want to go here with the Echo cooldown.
33.
So only a couple of ancient creeps here. They've got the burst opening up with the Echo, the follow-up, the lockdown. It's there. Nicely done by the two of them.
Can they get out safe?
BZM's definitely going to look to try and make them pay. The opening on a Schofield. Analog will split from Schofield for now. Saxa coming in from the side. Turns his attention over towards Analog, of course. Wants to try and get the bigger kill. They'll get the toss back into the blast. Analog in trouble. Crystalis turns up as well as they bring down the Shaker. See if they can get anything more. Saxa. Avalanche onto King Jungles. 32 trying to get the body blocks off with the Hellbear Smasher, but King Jungles is able to get his way around, and they'll be able to retreat.
Good target prioritization there from Tundra. Saxa even blocking. I saw KJ walking in to try to use a disruption. Saxa was just following him to prevent any type of save, so very on top of it there. 8-5, more kills than I think we've had in some of our games at the 11-minute mark. Very action-packed. I think both teams don't mind this action either, to be honest with you. It does seem like Tundra is fine because they're still getting the farm on the map, but Heroic is happy because they're getting these extra kills to accelerate things, in particular for Whisper, as he is 2 components toward that BKB.
I think, just the biggest concern is that the Troll is having a good time, and this hero has been unbeatable. So the fact that even though they managed to kill Crystalis a couple of times early on the laning stage, he's up there. He's top 3 net worth. He's level with the Farm of Humor. He's going to have a good Battle Fury time. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, my worry is the timing for the Troll, but also it's the Darkseer when he starts joining his team with the auras, right? He's going to have a pipe pretty early this game since most of that damage is magical on Heroic, and Heroic has no aura carrier whatsoever. Unless they want to do some weird build on the Batrider, which I don't think he will do anything like that, so that's usually the big timing for Darkseers, right? It's like that 15 to 20 minute timing when the team starts running around together. We'll see if Heroic is prepared when it does kick off. Because so far their moves have been pretty good.
They want to try and strike at Whisper before he has the BKB done.
He's got backup. Can he get himself out of this?
It's going to be hard now here. Schofield turns up. Saxa will be able to hold him back with an Avalanche. trying to chase forward, but Tundra should be able to keep the distance. 33 trying to Wild Wing Ripper his own creep away there to save it, but Schofield will still be able to get the plus 100.
Oh, in the meanwhile, they continue to get the stacks going on the side of Heroic. Could we actually get a stack counter whenever possible as well, too? Because I mean, it's a team with Shaker, right? It's a team with the Shadow Demon as well, too. So there's going to be a plenty from Heroic. But Tundra,
they're ready to go. They're ready to go and try and connect with Analog around the mid, because Analog does have the slam back online.
Okay, let's see what they find.
Of course, you know, you've got to imagine these sort of timings Tundra will be keeping track of, so should be prepared to be cautious.
BZM also, he's on Strength Treads, 1600 HP.
He's playing careful. I think he senses that this sort of play might be coming in, but he didn't sense it hard enough. The Echo still gets him into the lasso. That will still do the job nicely.
Way too much chain stun, even if he's on the tankiest portion possible. Cannot survive versus that. Will they turn him into a tower? Saxa?
I mean, he's going to end up walking into Saxon. Saxon's able to toss Whisper back over towards him. Good Fisher from Analog. Blocks off pretty much the four of them. They're going to try and go for the fight. Yuma reaching in under the tower. Takes down 33. Schofield has got the dispose onto Toby. Yuma will try and run down the puck there, and he's able to take him out before he can save himself. Double kill for Yuma. And they might not be done yet. Analog jumps forward. The setup's there to catch out another. Heroic. Find 3 there, and all it cost them is the life of the bat.
Surprise, Whisper actually died. That toss did way more damage than I expected it to. They'll get the tower out of it as well. Good timing from Heroic. Outnumbering, getting Tundra off guard. 2k advantage now for them.
And getting Yuma involved, right? So pretty much soon after this Battle Fury, he's just 200 gold or so away from having that Blink Dagger. And finding those sort of fights, that is going to be what sort of sets him ahead of the Farmer Chrysalis on the Troll.
What a fissure there from Analog. Clipping all 3 heroes. Even, I think, catching Chrysalis on the side there so he couldn't enter toward the fight. 12-6. Heroic setting the pace of the game. Tundra looking to strike back.
Oh, they are.
Schofield.
They're going to find Schofield for sure.
Quick, easy kill.
I mean, BZM definitely doing his best here to make these moves to ensure that Tundra keep up somehow with the amount of kills that are going on in this early game.
Yeah, pre-Soxa Blink Dagger, right? BZM has to be there. I mean, BZM and Soxa have to be there for most of the kills in this early game, as we're seeing. How's that pipe timing for 33? It's getting closer and closer. That's going to be the hard one that they have to go through. But 33 has to be more careful with his positioning, too, there. I think 2 times now or 3 times we've seen him just get purged, and he just dies right at the start of things. So maybe he has to watch the approach, since there's difficulty in saving them. As we've seen Toby, he cannot use this Decapify to save people. It's either going to get dispelled instantly, or there's just insane magic damage, as we say, coming in.
King Jungles trying to get some deep vision down.
It's a lot of Dominators they've been able to find. Soxa getting closer and closer toward Blink. Heroic, ults at the ready. They've got the Shard even purchased up for Analog, so for Heroic, it does feel like it's go time at pretty much any moment that they have this ulti at the ready.
And as you say, just for Tundra, once the pipe's there,
yep, that's their
they'll
timing.
look to turn up, and they'll almost certainly look to try and get Chrysalis involved.
Ooh, BZM adapting his build a little too here. Going for the Orchid this game, feeling like it's a good option versus that Ursa, and versus the Earthshaker in particular. Could trip them up. Ursa hates playing versus those silences, although I will say, a lot of games I've seen Orchid lately, it has fallen off pretty hard.
Sure.
But we'll see what he can do with it if he does opt to go for that way. So there's definitely going to be some counters in it. Analog looking for a play.
Saxa, so close to having the Blink Dagger online on the Tiny.
Should have it after these 2 camps on the side when they respawn, if you'd like to wait for them. So Tundra looking for that timing fight. Heroic, they're looking for any fight.
They've still got that vision, so they've got a full setup here onto BZM.
Oh, BZM.
They're ready.
On the stack.
Oh, he's so dead, surely. Straight in with the Echo. An easy one there for Heroic.
The dream when you're playing Shaker. The amount of stacks that are made too. He gets every single creep because the Slugger too. Analog, the Echoes are hitting. 3-1 and 5 so far for the Shaker.
Yeah, he's having a great early game here today.
Yep. All right, so Pipe, it's online. Glimmer still not finished for Toby, but they have Pipe finished. They have Blink on Soxa. Let's see if they can start getting things together, because Heroic is starting to get quite a bit of snowball. Look at the difference between the Earthshaker and the Storm now at this point.
Yeah.
And even the Ursa and the Troll, right? We're starting to see that separation of cores.
And they're going to be able to pick up this Aegis without any sort of contest from Tundra. So Yuma with the Aegis online. What would you imagine it now is the plan from Heroic? You've got this Aegis, are you just continuing to go, for action, just for full-out aggression, or are you farming up that next item?
I think you just keep waiting for Echo Slam. Just keep fighting around this Echo every cooldown. If they're not taking advantage of that Echo being on cooldown, it feels like a good position for them. If the Ursa can finish a BKB as well, then he can actually stand toe-to-toe in a lot of these fights. Versus that Troll in particular, too. Could be pretty nice.
Heading in BZM's direction, Schofield. Not quite able to catch him there. BZM more than ready.
All right, Tundra, they're grouping. This is their timing. The pipe's finished. That blink, as we said, for Saksa. Let's see if Heroic is prepared for it.
Yeah, because Tundra's fight should still be pretty strong. They've got the tools. They've got good burst as well.
Echo Slam, 30 seconds still on cooldown.
Saksa's in. He's going to try for the jump on a Schofield, but the Fisher comes out to disrupt the play. Schofield's going to try and stand his ground with the ultimate, but the combo is there. He's going to be saved for now by the destruction. Will still fall, but Heroic strike back. Yuma able to get in onto the darks here. BZM controlling the Shadow Demon to pick up the double. Whisper's going to get back in there. Lasso's there to lock down BZM. Yuma brings in the damage, and he's able to take down the both of them there, Whisper. Getting a huge double. Saxa attempts to get back in with the Avalanche tossback. They'll be able to at least take the Aegis out of the hands of this bear, but the casualties are rising here for Tundra. As 4 are dead, only Chrysalis left alive to scarper away.
And that's Tundra picking the fight with their timings. And
they went for that.
Heroic is so ready for it, and they didn't even have Echo, Owen. That's without Echo Slam that they're able to do this in this fight, so
yeah, that was a rough move to make.
Again, 33 charges in, gets Demonic Purged, and just dies almost immediately at the start of the fight.
Yeah, he's getting crushed.
He really is.
The farm was still good, you know, he's getting the timings, but each and every decision to turn up to the team fight has absolutely been punished by Heroic.
And they're just so prepared. Look how ready they were for the move. Look, Schofield, he gets the Solar Crest during the stun, an instant stun from Anon. They are so ready for this move. Beautiful preparation coming in from Heroic in this first 20 minutes, as we see.
Yeah, you can definitely see why this team does like to play with Humor on the Ursa, right? It seems like such a comfortable carry for him because his decisions of when to join and when to not so far have been pretty perfect. He's always been there to provide that extra bit of damage to help get the cleanup.
Yeah, and having Whisper on this bat, as we're seeing, right? 5-1 and 5. They were mentioned on the panel. He can definitely run rampant with the game. Tundra again, looking to smoke with their timing, but it's into Echo this time.
It is. Indeed. You know, Heroic, they've got more than they had last time ready to throw back at them. Let's see if Tundra can get away with it this time. There's the lead in. Saxa looks for the toss back. They're trying to get onto Whisper, but again, the Fisher causing issues, blocks them off. Analog jumps in with the Echo. Saxa's got Chrysalis. He'll get the ult off, but the Lasso's there. They're controlling the Troll. His ult's soon to come to an end. Analog's going to do his best to kite him out. Off to the side, BZM will clean up King Jungles.
He's dead
but
again.
Chrysalis dies as soon as his ult finishes. And Tundra, they've got to run. Yuma attempting to get on the chase here. Schofield, is he able to close the gap, bringing him in a little bit closer. They're closing in on 33. There's nowhere to run. Dispose back the Flame Break as well. Analog ready to slam him down with the Fisher. They just can't take these team fights, Fogs.
Nope.
A second time where they've been the instigators. They're looking to try and start this, but Heroic, they're shutting them down every single time.
Heroic is playing this game beautiful. Every single fight, they're like, bring it, let's go. They want these fights, and they're going to get the Tormentor out of it as well. You honestly couldn't almost ask for a better 21 minutes here. 21 kills, 11k lead. Ursa's gotten the Roche, Ursa's gotten Tormentor. Your Bat Riders destroyed the Troll as well. Looking incredible for them at the moment. And yeah, Tundra, that's them picking the fight.
They're trying to fight this. They're trying, but both times it has not worked out for Tundra. They've got to reset and sort of reassess what they want to do in this game because these sort of moves are just not working.
How do you reassess though? It's what's the pivot that you want to go for now at this point when you thought you were going to be able to fight with this aura? I'm seeing a Midas queued up from the darks here. You know, they probably won't know it, but that's usually difficult to tell.
That's I mean that's the classic sign from 33, right? The game is hard.
Yep.
Doesn't always end up buying the Midas after he queues it up, but it definitely tells how his vibe is with the game. It's a hard one.
I think Tundra has to slow things down somehow and get BKBs now because they can't fight into all this control.
Not
it's
at all.
Just way too much. Saksa, that's a freebie.
Just playing with him. Oh. They'll get him before any neutral can. Same time up top. That's 33 dead again.
Owen. This is getting out of control for Tundra.
This has got to be one of the tougher games 33's had on his dark side, I feel. We've seen him have some excellent ones on the road to TI, but this game, he is getting bullied.
I mean, they all are. Truly. I mean, BZM, he's got 6 kills, but he's got 4 deaths as well, right? There's just relentless kills that are coming in from Heroic. This is the Heroic that we wanted to see, as I mentioned.
There's just no slowdown.
Nope. 23 kills, 23 minutes, just kill a minute. And they're continuing to hunt with this great vision that we see placed down from them. Just on top of fighting and spellcasting really well, their ward coverage and their preparation around the map has been absolutely pristine. Tundra again, grouping up.
See if they can try and find a bit of luck around their tier 2 tower.
And this Ursa's level 19 now at this point as well, with a full BKB basher. The angle, it's just how do you approach the fights versus this Earthshaker who now has a BKB as well on top of all his spellcasting. He's just, you can't kill him either. You have to somehow take care of this Earthshaker, but I don't even know how you do at this point. Because the control that he's providing is just, control and damage he's providing is just way too much. So yeah, I think perhaps it is just slow the pace of the game until they can at least get the BKB for the Troll and the Storm Spirit, but Heroic just constantly looking for fights.
Yeah, Tundra definitely showing they want no part of the action until they have that next set of items done.
They need them desperately because the lead's just getting to a point where it might be getting too much for them. Schofield looking at a pretty interesting build too if he wants to go down and queuing up a Yules. Very good to kite either the Darkseer, good versus the Pogna, good versus the Troll. As soon as any of those BKBs would go down whenever they get them, can be a very good kiting tool.
Got the blink now on 33.
Okay. He's got the blink, but he's
set up the combo.
He's so fragile now. Even though he's got the pipe, it's so much damage at this point on Heroic.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Tundra, I feel like historically this team has been very good at kind of recovering from these sort of positions, right?
Very, very true.
They kind of, you know, they went for that sort of attempt 2 times, but going for it a 3rd time is not very Tundra-esque, you know, and they're not doing it right. They're changing their approach, and this has absolutely worked out for them numerous times in the past. So Heroic, they're not in the clear quite yet.
Yuma looking for plays. Saksa, he's found. Tundra's traditionally, as you said, this year especially, they've been very good about splitting the map and catching up in net worth, but this is not one of those games where they're really catching up in net worth either. Like some of the games I've seen them losing like this in kills, and they're only like 4K behind, maybe 3K. It's a 15,000 gold lead in 25 minutes. It's pretty significant. An early gem also picked up, as we see there, I believe 2 minutes ago from Heroic. They're putting it on the Bat Rider. So, I mean, Heroic is looking to just completely decimate the map.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, Heroic, they've been able to be pretty chill themselves and just finding this farm whilst Tundra's had to sort of just hide in these corners of the map, giving so much space. I mean, Whisper, he had the time to purchase the complete Shiva's Garb without having to buy bit by bit. So that's a huge addition on top of everything else that Heroic have now in this team fight.
Heroes are going to explode.
Tundra, they've got to keep avoiding. Unless they find little chances like this, they're going to try, but it's a hard one to go for. Azuma, he's got the erase, they'll try and vacuum him back, he's still got the BKB ready.
Too hard to go in the shadow.
They're not even able to force out the BKB usage, he just walks it off.
Oh, and I've yet to see BZM get a decent usage out of this Orchid too, and now there's the Demonic Cleanse for the Shadow Demon, as we saw there as well. You can't even use it. It's able to just instantly get the dispel.
That's very true. Yeah, in these sort of games where you're falling behind, the Orchid Storm purchase can feel that it's kind of missed the timing.
Absolutely. That's usually what it ends up being, right? You usually want to try to get this and snowball off it, but you look and you're like, the cores all have BKB. There's also a dispel on the supports. Things are definitely complicated for the side of Tundra.
Yuma ready to go towards the Abyssal next, and once that's online, the amount of lockdown they'll have, it's going to make it difficult for even Crystallis to have a chance of getting in, popping a BKB and popping his ult, right? If these lassos, these Abyssal Blades come in, it's not an easy fight for the Troll to take part in. And he's still not quite got the BKB, he's still at a couple of 100 gold off that Crystallis.
It's really nice for Yuma in this type of game as Ursa too, that you have the SD, because you don't have to go the Nullifier nearly as early as sometimes, right? I mean, this game he's also just kind of owning in particular, so probably doesn't need it this early anyway, but he can just go Abyssal. The SD is going to purge the target he's focusing, and yeah, there's no way they can really survive off that. All right, Tundra, so Crystallis, he's got the BKB finished. I believe BZM soon has his done. See if they want to try to fight with that. I still don't think that they can take a heads-on fight with it, but let's see.
Radiant are scanning.
Items just continue to flurry in for Heroic. Almost an Octarine for Analog.
See over in the river.
Kobe.
He's looking to be in a lot of trouble here. Schofield and Whisper. We'll get some action back on the table here after a bit of a slower period of the game.
A night and day difference today from Schofield and Whisper. Just having a hell of a performance on these two.
Yeah, the bat's looking pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying, was there something that was banned out against them the other days, or they? I guess they picked Whisper's hero early, didn't they? So they just went for other stuff. But yeah, seeing his bat in action.
I mean, Whisper, I think his two traditional, non-traditional offlaners are the Batright and the Phoenix. These two he tends to just go absolutely bonkers on if he gets a good start, and this is one of those games that we're absolutely seeing that. Yeah, perfect itemization too, as we see. The blink goes after Shiva's BKB, can go refresher after. And the lead, it just continues to grow for Heroic. Gold lead, it was at 15.
They're taking everything right now. I mean, they're soon going to be set up, of course, move in for the next Roshan.
Which is about to come up. And they are very ready for it.
I mean, Tundra,
they're smoking, but
you might have to try something desperate here.
Can they make it? It looks like, I mean, Heroic is ready for the fight. They have the sword on the outside.
Yeah, Whisper, he's just straight onto them. He's going to jump forward, put the BKB, stay on top of Saxa. Oh, no, he's just dead before the fight even starts. He'll buy back. BZM tries to get away, but the lasso comes in. Yuma brings in the bashes. BZM's gone, and he does not have the option for buyback. Heroic, they can push on for more. Another bash comes in from Yuma as he closes in on a Chrysalis. Jump forward here with the Echo Stab. Chrysalis puts the BKB. The Fisher will block him off. He's up to the high ground. Chrysalis will survive, but only just. The buyback comes in from Toby. Try and lay down the burst here on a Schofield. Saxa trapped out to the side. Sets up for Yuma to pick up another kill.
They can't kill anybody.
They cannot. Heroic. All heroes surviving, Tundra getting nothing and costing them close to everything, having to use these two buybacks, and nothing is found in their favor.
This is absolutely beautiful gameplay. Heroic, the wards placed again, you know, this time just absolute vision everywhere. I think the secondary ward gets placed afterwards, but they see Tundra even trying to come out and they just pick the fight. Heroic knows all of their strengths in this game. Giving pretty much no hope to Tundra to win any fight. 33, again, it runs in and dies instantly.
I mean, he just doesn't expect that sort of ward to be here at this moment of the game, but it gave them the vision. He'll get some backup coming in, but Schofield's in with the jump. Oh, he'll get away just this time.
He does survive.
Just in time that he's able to back off. He's going to try and look, see if they can turn, get something in response. They do get the route onto Schofield, so Tundra will manage to at least get a kill out of this one, and they won't lose 33 this time.
He levels up, gets the big heal there from it, that aggrandize. Does end up surviving. Looked like he was going to go down again just to Whisper in Schofield, but Tundra, they get something. Was the gem recovered? I believe it was recovered from Heroic. It was. So it didn't end up losing their gem. So just a small kill, but Tundra able to get a little bit of something, but a very small something.
This next 4 minutes could very well be the timing for Heroic to push forward and attempt for the high ground. We'll see how prepared Tundra's going to be for that. Chrysalis trying to get the Aghanims online, about 1,600 gold to go.
I mean, these small things, right? It'll help survivability and him stay, but these team fights just don't even look close.
They get the jumping onto BZM, but not enough lockdown this time. BZM able to sneak away with the Glimmer Cape coming in. That's of course, Toby will pay the price.
Godlike now for Yuma. He gets to go the fun build, too. Look at this, queuing up the Octarine afterwards. As we said, he doesn't have to go for this Nullifier if he doesn't feel like he wants to. He can go for any luxury build. And Whisper with, breaking records on timings for sure on this Batrider. About to have a refresher done. It's only 30 minutes in, and he's getting close to 5-6 slotted territories.
Yeah,
this is insane.
Yeah, he's definitely making a case for his bat to seriously be considered in the drafts when you're going up against these guys.
And they flex it too, right? As we've seen, they'll play it mid lane, they'll play it off lane, they'll play it as support. So definitely something that could be prioritized a bit higher here, as we just see this game continue to be a beautiful showing from Heroic. BZM TPing in.
See what they can do. He's going to try for the setup on a Schofield. Comes in with the Vortex. Further TP's coming in, but Schofield's able to jump away. BZM trying to chase. Has to be cautious, though.
Whisper might go in. He's got the refresher. He's thinking about it.
He's training with the jump. With a good knockback with the Flame Break. He's going to be able to catch BZM. Yuma brings in the damage, slams down the Abyssal. That's BZM gone. Heroic ready to go for more. Once again, Saxa to fall.
They cannot, they can't even get pickoffs, Owen. Heroic, as you said, maybe time to knock on that high ground. They've got another lasso if he does see a target. The banner's on the ground.
They've got it ready.
2 minutes still on the Aegis. Fastest on this, makes sense. That might just, in terms of fighting, I just don't know what Tundra does now. And it's felt like that for a long time.
Yuma quick to take out the ward as well.
Banner Battriders down to the glyph, won't even clear that wave.
They should be able to take out these racks before Tundra have everyone back in the game.
So they just gotta watch.
And they'll respect the respawns.
I mean, Whisper has double lasso.
He's going to be able to get away with the enrage. The Vortex not going to hold him down. In fact, Yuma's ready to look to see if he can turn and get a bash. Doesn't get lucky this time. BZM's able to step away with the zip.
All right, they'll play it a little patient. I thought they were honestly just going to go in there on the side of Heroic.
I mean, they might double back in on this.
It feels like they're going to
how strong they are and the fact they still have this Aegis. Heroic will not be scared of going for another fight.
No, this is a fake back right here.
BZM is going to jump up onto the cliff. There we go. Yuma's able to get over to the back. Nice, the Vision will follow. They've locked down 33. The heals are coming out from Toby, but 33 will fall. Chrysalis will get the ultimate off. But the lasso's there, locking him down. Chrysalis bashed up as well. No chance to do the damage as they control him, take him out, look towards BZM. BZM running low on mana. Schofield has to dispose into the Enchanto and double kill for Analog. It is over. GG is called. Heroic coming in hot in this game one. Woo!
I think that's the Heroic that most people were coming to see. All the SA fans rejoice. Holy shit, what a beatdown, honestly. They came in ready to play. Definitely ate their breakfast. That was unreal. I mean, Whisper, honestly, everybody, all 5 of them played fantastic. Covering from laning phase to mid-game, sweeping the map, great wards, great macro play. I don't really know what else to say. That was a beautiful display from Heroic.
And sort of forcing that troll into its first loss in the tournament.
First loss.
They are absolutely able to just steamroll Tundra in this game one.
And Tundra, right, they were even looking for the fights around their timings, you know, this pipe thing. The pipe timing came, and they got completely destroyed even during it.
They could not find any timing at all to their favor in this game one. Tundra as Heroic had them covered on all bases and get this game one victory. Heroic with the first win here at this best of 3.
It was a fantastic game. The arena going crazy for Heroic, picking up that win there. I mean, it's elimination that's on the line, staying in this tournament. And Heroic, everything from start to end, Lacoste was just amazing for them from those laning phases and throughout.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. The execution, this top lane was just a complete disaster for Tundra. They were unable to punch back. We said that there's going to be a couple of issues. Maybe there were some ways to try to fix it, but it just didn't happen in this game. Whisper and Schofield, they were playing it pretty much to perfection, immediately getting the first blood, using that opportunity, getting another blood grenade, getting another kill, getting a double kill for Whisper, enabling this offlane Batrider that they play as a core. So when we saw him being picked in the draft, we were like, this is most likely going to be the core because they played across 3 different roles and they did work out amazingly in this one.
I think Heroic just looks like the better team right now, straight up. Like, can you honestly say, going in today, like, did you expect a very competitive series here? Because I feel like for the whole year, we have seen, like, time and time again, you have teams like Tundra, Liquid, they have a rough group stage, you know, rough road to international, and then all of a sudden, you know, come playoffs, they do the Tundra thing.
Right, they power up a little bit.
They power up, they start winning. It's like, okay, sure, they have a stand-in, but it's Toby. Toby has won tournaments this year as a stand-in, right? So I think Heroic is very happy with themselves. I think Tundra is feeling a little bit outclassed right now because, like, I totally agree on all fronts. They got destroyed. Like, Yuma was active, like Analog got a super early Blink Dagger, he was crazy active, Whisper got his signature hero, stomped the lane. Like, this was not even close. Tundra has to, like, go straight back to the drawing board with this one.
Okay, well, before we get to that, right, we've got to talk about the game one a little bit more, talk about the earlier aspects of this and just how impactful some of the rotations coming through were, how you even talked about, Jenkins, yourself, there was going to be this early trialing and what exactly is going to work out better for the side of Heroic.
Yeah, this triangle for me, I mean, this is like the most satisfying thing ever. Even King Jungle is bringing a creep wave to not only give that farm, but add more damage to the Echo Slam. That instantly went from 1,000 gold on Analog to enough for his Blink Dagger. You do not expect a 9-minute Blink Dagger timing from any hero. Like, this is just not an instinct that you have. Even a player with the skill level and the experience of 33, like, dying in this way right after the Blink reveal is... I mean, that's early. Like, that's a rough death, too, on Darkseer.
Yeah, you're talking about that early Blink timings and just how much it was able to do for them. But Winter, there was a little bit of a... I don't know if the slowdown is the right word. I'm not sure how to describe this exactly.
I mean, after the dagger reveal, I felt like Tundra went back to towards the other side of the map. Actually, before the Blink review, so I wanted to highlight the wards, like how Heroic kind of targeted 33 when he was left alone. That was scouting his camps, and they even placed a sentry, to block his farming pattern. That's like one of the small little things that I feel like Heroic really understands how Tundra likes to play as a team. When Darkseer is alone.
This is why I feel like this one was a big outclass, which, like I said, I don't think many people expected this big of a difference, because every single player on Heroic understood their role and pretty much did it perfectly against one of the highest caliber teams in the world.
Yeah, I feel like the first 10 minutes, right, Heroic did everything correctly, whereas Tundra, they didn't know what to do. They weren't very sure about, okay, do we play with our Storm, or do we play with the Darkseer? Because Darkseer can't play the lane against Ursa. Do we help him, or do we help the Troll, because he was like kind of getting bullied by the Bat Rider, which I felt like we had this little discussion where I think the Tiny needed to choose who to sacrifice, because there's 3 lanes, they have to really help. They can only help 2 realistically. And I felt like the one thing that didn't really happen was the runes, right? The Storm didn't really get the first couple of runes, and it was the Earthshaker getting the runes on top of the stack. So he had a perfect start. Because if you think about it, if you're helping the Darkseer, what happens after that? You help him, and then he still goes back to farm, right? But if you are helping secure the runes, then Storm gets the runes. Storm gets to help the Troll, and you kind of unleash.
He's gonna pay it forward.
Yeah, because what happened in the game was 5 minutes, around 5:50, they actually went top to kill the Bat Rider, and they lost the rune control on 6 minutes. So Earthshaker got the rune. I think these are small little things that it might not look like much, but it tells you the story of what the teams are prioritizing. And I don't know if that was the right way to play the game, even though they killed the Marcy when they went top.
They were killing Storm Spirit multiple times. Like, there was a big difference in the mid lane in terms of like how they're playing, because he was never getting initiated on. And you did mention the rune control. In first 25 minutes, they did pick up 7 runes compared to only 2 runes on Tundra. And if there's one hero in the game that needs those active runes to be able to control the tempo of the game, that's definitely Storm Spirit, and it just didn't happen in this one. Analog, he did have BZM's number throughout the whole game. Like, you could see BZM stacking the Ancients for himself in the outer ring, thinking that he's safe there. But again, these Twin Gates rotations that we praise Heroic for, they go for it, they find them, they steal the stacks again, they get the kill, and they go back to farming immediately. And also one of the issues that we did address is that they weren't very good when they played against, yesterday when they were playing against Parivision, how they were moving across the map with the aggressive heroes that they did have. This time around, they were very clean in terms of execution, going for a kill, pushing out the waves, because again, this is pretty similar tactic that they did have yesterday. It's just the execution wasn't as clean.
Yeah, I think that's even shown in team fights, right? They were willing to bring those numbers. I think the vision game was a little bit better as well, Winter. But earlier on, you think Tundra lanes are struggling. They're still able to find farm for themselves. There's still items coming out. The Tiny getting a Blink Dagger as well. But those not really eventuating too much more when the team fights do end up happening.
That was kind of like, I felt like the real turning point of the game. Sure, Tundra, they were struggling initially, but when they got the dagger on Saksa, they immediately made this play. They went up top. But they started the fight on the Marcy, but they didn't really kill him instantly. It took a while before they died. But the fight kind of dragged out really long, and they got stuck in a pretty bad, like, Echo Stand eventually. Yeah. So I felt like this was like the part of the game where Tundra needed to get something out of the dagger, but they couldn't really deal with the Tricore, especially the Bat Rider, Earthshaker, and the Ursa together.
I think this is a perfect example of like why Earthshaker as a hero is so high value right now. You have the threat of the big Echo, and with the Yasha and Kaya, he does enough damage to, like, with the Slugger, innate, like, to 1v5 your team, but also with just the fissures, like, Analog was crazy disruptive of all of the initiations that Tundra was trying to make with their timings.
Yeah, this also happened, like, after that, they were going to fight again, for the Tormentor, and they lost another fight on the Tundra side with the dagger. So these are the 2 big sequences I felt like Heroic just played really, really well. They anticipated the move. They brought enough heroes, especially the carry. The Ursa came in, joined the fights, and made sure that they took control of the game from here on.
And you can see that they understand how to play with Earthshaker really well. In these clips, you can see that they're always fighting around Fissure, utilizing that Shaker's shard to be able to get that extra bit of a stun, because the Fissure lasts long enough for you to get that extra enchant totem on him, get the stun. It's pretty massive, and they are really utilizing it well.
Yeah, the Marcy being so impactful, right? You see her as this position 4, and it's like, we can jump her, Jenkins. It's easy. We should be able to just at least have the numbers advantage now, especially with the Blink Dagger reveal. But this hero, you've talked about how much of a menace it is. To see it still be that menace as a support too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it does so many things. Like you have the Helm Dom build, which as a carry has a lot of impact. But you also have the support build, which can jump a hero like Batrider right on top in the laning phase, like give him some way to initiate. So he went for Tranquils, and then he was gonna. I think he built into an early drums. At least he had that queued up.
He had it queued up, but switched to a BKB.
Switched to a BKB. So it goes for the early BKB because they were focusing him very heavily, considering all the kills that he had. We even saw some like bait fights where it looked like Whisper was about to get himself killed, and then they were actually like everybody on Heroic was ready for this.
And I love this Shivas that he did pick up. It allows him to get even more scouting, and this is also in the early prompts that they placed before that, understanding that Tundra might try to go for this Hail Mary play, try to defend Roshan because they were faking it at this time, and then Whisper blinks in, gets a really good initiation, slows everybody down with Shiva's Guard, canceling any kind of blink daggers if they have it at the time, and it just feels like this healing reduction as well that he's going for. This is not a traditional Batrider item by any means. You're playing against Pugna, you're playing against this Troll, so he's just going to get kited. And also I think Pugna didn't really have a game at all. You're playing against Shadow Demon, so your Decryptify is going to be removed. Storm Spirit did go for Orchid. Then you have a Demonic Cleanse as well from the Shadow Demon. Very, very difficult fights that they need to take post 20 minutes.
Even Earthshaker being able to interrupt his suck on the backline, it's one of those things where it's like before you had to hit the fissure on Pugna, but now because everybody's going for the aftershock increases with Earthshaker's ulti facet, pretty much throw a fissure anywhere in the fight and you're going to hit a backline Pugna.
There's a high chance.
It's a very high chance.
Yeah, well, look, our standout player is definitely going to be Whisper. Everything from the early to the late, the itemization, it feels like there is nothing that we can pick apart from what he did there. It felt on the borderline perfect there, but someone we haven't really spoken too much about that I also would love to highlight is this Shadow Demon. We know just how impactful he has been already in this tournament for other teams picking him up, but now with Troll having a 100% win rate, it getting picked up, you kind of realize if Shadow Demon's in a good position, this Troll ult is redundant. It doesn't matter what items you get, you're not going to be able to lifesteal when that ult goes off, and it's just a non-factor.
Yeah, I think if you want to pinpoint like the biggest problem in Tundra's draft, I think they would go back and consider like the Troll to be a bit of a blunder, I guess, because like I get the idea. Troll versus Ursa in the late game is like hugely Troll favored because you can dispel Ursa's overpower, and then you also the mischance Ursa doesn't like playing into. You're the one hero in Dota that can man up against Ursa. But all the other heroes you mentioned, you got the Bat in lane that's going to dumpster him. You have the SD, which is going to protect from the Troll ulti as well. So I think in a one-to-one matchup, sure. In a vacuum, sure. But that's just not how Dota works. There are other heroes.
Yeah, we said Whisper was our standout player as well. We've kind of highlighted everyone now, but Whisper was our standout player. We didn't give you guys too much insight into exactly what he was doing to give his team such a good game, but I know someone who is, and that's Purge.
Thanks, Nat. Yeah, Whisper's game was incredibly powerful in this match, and this has kind of been the way that they've been playing his hero role lately. They pick him his hero, and it's not always conventional heroes. He's been picking a lot of Pudge in the first phase. He's been playing Batrider, one of his classic heroes, but not played as much this tournament. And this first double kill that they got them off to a really good start, which is something that does sometimes happen when you play weird heroes in weird lanes. Even like his Pudge lanes, where he should have been losing his lanes consistently for the matchups he was getting, they usually at least go even with some kind of wacky plays just because he's such a good player. And because they got those kills, that allows him to stay in his lane. And now Schofield ends up running towards the mid lane here at 4 minutes into the game because he knows the Batrider might get a little zoned by the Pugna, by the Troll, but he's going to be relatively fine considering the early gold advantage he got. So they're basically turning this surprise pick in this surprise lane with these two very highly skilled players into kills that allows space. So Toby on the Pugna is over here like, I got to stay here to protect my Troll Warlord in case the Batrider tries to go on me. I gotta maybe get pulls off, but his rotations aren't going to be as effective most likely as what Whisper is doing, because just by being here, Crystallis on the Troll has to worry about getting zoned. He ends up being fine on the Troll in terms of his net worth, but the Whisper's impact continues to cascade here. He gets the Wisdom Shrine at 7 minutes. He hits the level 6 at 7, which is very abnormal for an offlane hero. And then they get a little bit lucky on this net here, which allows them this nice initiation against the Troll. And once again, the Troll Pugna, they don't have stuns. All they have is slows. So against a Bat Rider, they're kind of in a perfect scenario here. They do misuse their skills a little bit, but the fact that they can turn this fast lasso into a kill against the enemy carry just further compounds this gold advantage that they have. And then there are some rotations by Tundra to try to kill Whisper. They don't end up working out. He creates space by dodging those ganks. He gets a free tower. And then ultimately, at this point of the game, we're only 13 and a half minutes in. That extra pressure that allowed them to rotate Schofield around ends up getting the Earthshaker really high net worth. He's at the top here, so that means this Blink Dagger plus the follow-up from Whisper, who's also ahead, means a really, really easy kill on the one hero that can tempo this game well, and it's probably Storm Spirit, because Storm can do both disable damage and gap close. It's kind of a jack of all trades. So early laning stage with the weird picks, transitions to some nice kills into some map pressure, ultimately allows him to scale throughout the whole game.
A perfect formula there for Heroic. Perfect breakdown from Purge as well. Thank you so much for that one. Whisper just shining on this, and we're saying that it's this unconventional hero for an offlaner, but not when it comes to Heroic. And Tundra should have been very aware of this when they went up against each other in the road to the international playoffs. It was Bat Rider that got picked up against them, played in the mid lane, and garnered them a win there too. So now I'm wondering, what exactly has Tundra really learned from that last interaction, not even a week ago?
I mean, the stats is correct, right? Because whenever they're second pick, they have a very bad win rate, you know. So they're losing again once more on the second pick side, and hopefully this time they might want to, you know, change it up and try to do something else if they are going to be on the second pick side again. But I feel like overall, maybe the main problem that I see in the game is the inability to sit on the lane, to hold on the lane. So that comes back to what Andrew mentioned. The Troll against Bat Rider matchup kind of makes the whole game very weird, because you have to force your supports to come over to the Troll, and then it causes the runes to be snatched away by your opponent. So it's like it all started here in the lane matchup. So maybe they have to go back and try to figure out, are we prioritizing too much on the mid-late game, whereas we should maybe just put a little bit more weight onto the laning phase.
Do you think they're trying like a little too hard to get some like gotcha last pick, you know, Troll versus Ursa, god tier matchup that they just end up like having bad lanes? Is it that simple? Because
I mean, it's also a lane where you don't play too much, right? So you're not used to it.
So yeah, we've got our teams walking out back into their booth. They've had their time to really sit and think about it there. Our game will definitely be starting very soon, but we're saying it could be as simple as the fact is they're thinking too far down the road, because games all have that longer average game time at this TI. They really focus on if we can make it there. But right now, the lanes are so bad, they're not making it.
Yeah, you know what we always say in that? If you can't play the lane, you can't play the game.
I thought it was win lane, lose game.
I mean, that was another one too.
Yeah, it depends on if you win or you lose.
You get to pick one of the two.
Yeah, whatever's the most convenient excuse.
Yeah, you get to just use that one there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just honestly, I was not a big believer in the Troll last pick. I think we saw the flaws in the hero. I mean, this has been consistently a.
But don't you think that they could have maybe fixed some of the flaws by adapting a little bit more rotations to help the Storm, or maybe start the game earlier with the Tiny moving around to help?
I think Purge's breakdown was absolutely correct. If you do that, then Pugna goes mid, and guess what happens to Troll? He's just dead. He's just dead a million times. So what does he do? Go to the triangle, and then all of a sudden you've Whisper free farming an entire section of the map? I think that would cause cascading issues, and probably.
But you have to help somewhere. You have to decide which one to help, right? If you help the Storm could help.
If you're in a game, you definitely want to create that chaos to try to just not play into the exact hand. But I think, you know, they at this point have a second game, starting fresh.
Yes.
The draft was an issue.
Yeah, you could see that they did the prep. You could see during like pre-6 minutes that there was an observer ward near the twin gates, making sure that the Yuva rotation potentially could be scouted. They were ready for it.
He just didn't.
He just didn't this game. Like, he was playing Troll because they killed that tower relatively early on. You are playing Bat Rider with this facet, so you're still dealing damage to the tower as well. The tower's going to fall relatively quickly, pre-8 minutes. And then Troll Warlord, he's not the fastest farmer in the jungle. Pugna doesn't really have a lane to go to as a position 5. He's not level 6. He's under-leveled. So a bit of a difficult situations that they got themselves into.
I mean, the thing with Pugna is, like, whenever you're Pugna, right, I don't think you want to sit and guard your carry. I think you want to go and fight the runes and blast the mid tower.
Yes.
That's like the main job you have in a game in the first 10 minutes. Right? If you can't do that as Pugna, you're not going to feel good in a game.
Yeah, we do have to look at that, right? Because this is a lane synergy that isn't very familiar for Chrysalis and Toby playing together, stand-in. It's not an excuse, it's just facts that we kind of have to look at, how difficult it is for them. And now it makes me wonder, do you go back to just a simple duo healer cost that is a late scaling carry, and then a strong support in lane? It's something that can give them a little bit more of a stabilization that is easy and isn't so much dependent on knowing exactly how your carry plays, what they like to do. It's just making that lane.
I think they did check those boxes. Strong laner, you have Pugna and Troll. I don't think you can think about the better laners. It's one of the stronger fives.
It's just
one of the stronger carries. It's just a bad matchup.
Yeah, it's just both of those heroes are countered by Bat. They picked 2 heroes countered by Bat against Whisper, Batrider offlane. I would like to theory craft some potential picks instead of the Troll. I think Jug would have been fine.
Okay.
Jug, Pugna, Decrep into spin, good magic damage. You've got a hero that can take off the Batrider napalm stacks. It's a classic counter to Bat.
I mean, I think the lane
synergy
might not be as important, because I think the most important thing is you need something to deal with the bad, Lifestealer Jug hero. That's it, even if the support doesn't work with you, it's whatever.
Well, last time Tundra got bat-righted by Heroic, game number 2, they just banned it out. That might be the same solution for them, but either way, a game number 2 is where we have to head.
Tundra Esports versus Heroic Game 2.
Yeah, Batrider, that's going to be our biggest question here. Standout player, standout hero, everything about him worked so well in a game number 1 that I don't think Tundra are going to at all let the chance for it to go back in with
You're just banning the draft. Yeah. Oh, that's a classic right there.
Just straight up, you go, we're 1 game away from elimination. This is the reality Tundra are facing. And they're like, well, game 1 was so tough for us. That Batrider has to be taken out. Too much chaos. The Earthshaker has to be taken out. Too much impact.
I mean, good news, Nat. Tundra is on first pick.
I was going to say, yep. Both teams, they love first pick. And Tundra, they got it this time.
Yeah, but on the other hand, is the trend going to continue for Heroic? Every time they win the first game, they're just going to win the second game as well,
I mean, Invoker's in the poll. I don't see a reason why
Tundra...
They do have the first pick, so I assume they're just going to snatch it, because this hero looked very, very good. The Helm of the Dominator plus the Forge Spirit allows you to pretty much push 2 waves at the same time if you want to. You have extreme amount of tower damage as well. So it's just way too good of a hero to pass on.
And that's the face of a player that just played Shadow Demon.
He doesn't need to think about anything else. Just, or maybe relax.
The balls on these guys. I love this. Win game 1, first pick the old big man. I love that.
There's going to be a lot of summons around them with the Forge Spirit, with the Helm of the Dominator as well. So not going to be the easiest target to hook in this game.
No, I mean, to be fair, Aghanim Scepter build plus Flesh Sheep, like, I know, traditionally Pudge is this really squishy, low armor hero, could die to all of the summons, etc., etc. But honestly, when played as a core, which Heroic does play it as an offlane, and they go for like the Ag Shiva's build, it is good against mass summons. You cannot kill this hero through the Flesh Heap, so I actually don't mind it against Invoker. My only question is minus armor from Forge Spirits. That's a difference between like Beastmaster and Invoker, right? Is the Beast summons are not giving minus armor, the Invoker summons are.
You don't think about this, but in this current meta, Invoker is a zoo hero.
He is, yeah, 100%.
Matt, you're giving me the look.
I feel like you got to explain to people who might be tuning in.
Well, he does have more summons than certain summon heroes in the game right now.
Yeah, you're getting like 2, 3 Forge Spirits.
I mean, don't forget the buff, Alacrity is...
Yeah, with the Shard also creating more Forge Spirits, plus Helm of the Dominator as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going with the Helm of the Dominator. We have seen BZM play Invoker and go for the Helm of the Dominator. It's definitely not out of the realms of what they think is good.
These are good scaling items on Invoker too. Like they give good stats for him as well. Like he kind of wanted an excuse to go for items like this before.
I mean, could this also be caused by Midas being nerfed a lot? Because Midas has always been an early game item for Invoker.
That's true. It's a good excuse to get something that's giving you the XP boost. Because if you get to like late game in terms of XP on Invoker, you just win. That's how it feels. Like late game Invoker is insane.
Well, you were right, Jenkins. KJ having a bit of a snooze in the booth because he was playing Shadow Demon game 1. He said, guys, just pick it for me game 2. There is nothing else. I don't need another hero. I played well. We won it. Run it back.
I want to see some kind of a setup for this Invoker. They did pair it up with like Shadow Shaman earlier. I think Sanking is going to be an okay one. This Monkey King we talked about earlier in the series is potentially coming out from position 4 if they want to go for it, but also being able to break the combo with the Silencer, having this global presence, Monkey scouting things out just with one Boundless Strike. This is how Tundra back in the days when they won their first TI also did play. If this is going to be position 4 Monkey, because this was 33 playing some Dead Prophet, Monkey King position 4, and Monkey position 4 is back in meta, as we saw yesterday. Parivision, what they can do with it, other teams showing it as well. So Tundra, I think this is the team that can adapt the quickest in terms of how they want to play the game after losing a game. Ooh, this is nasty.
What? We've seen Broodmother, but it's like that last pick, you know, gotcha.
This is like the Invoker counter. Like, it used to be an Invoker counter, and Silencer also kind of does nothing against the creeps. And I was going to praise Tundra for their opening, their second phase picks with the Monkey and Silencer, having a flex pick and Silencer to counter the SD and Apache. And now with the Brood coming out, it kind of complicates things, you know. Are you going to be able to deal with the spiders? And
yes.
It's going to get complicated, you know.
Yeah, you need something. I think you need this type of a hero that I mentioned. I think they need an extra stun, so going for a hero like a Sanking could be pretty good for them. This is the hero that can park himself where Broodmother is. Either that, or I think Axe is also
I mean, would you consider like just putting the Monkey King against the Brood, you know?
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, I know Invoker position 4 in pro level pubs was a thing prior to TI.
Yeah,
you want to see BZM Invoker, though, just in general, especially with this new build people are doing. But I agree, like, traditionally, an old counter to Brood was Monkey King, because, I mean, any hero that has scaling damage that's in an AoE that can kill the spiders is good. Yeah. Like, Tiny and Monkey King, you can just kill the massive spiders, and it's not a huge problem.
They have a triple save right now. You have Hook, you have Shadow Demon with the Disruption, Tusk with the Snowball as well. Broodmother is not the easiest hero to catch.
Yep, there we go. The Sand King, someone to park in the Brood's lane.
It's also a setup for Invoker. I think it does allow you, like, Silencer plus Sand King is the old school combo. It goes way back 20 years of Dota. It's just when easy to execute these type of executions. Now we have Invoker, Monkey King, so the overwhelming, like, Heroic doesn't have teamfight at all. Like, they need to snowball pretty heavily.
The early game is going to be like quite a test, you know, for Tundra, because this Brood and Tusk, they are going to cause a lot of problems to Silencer. So right now, the biggest question for Tundra is, do we actually move the Monkey King to a core, or can we actually deal with this SD and Tusk pressure in the early game with this Monkey King Silencer duo, which I'm not very sure, because Monkey King Silencer doesn't feel like it's going to be able to deal with this Tusk SD in the early game. And if you can't deal with the supports pressure in the early game, it means that you're going to lose out on the runes, and you're going to lose on the map, and maybe we're going to see a repeat of game 1. So that has got to be in their mind.
I agree, because it's Crystallis, like, you see Monkey King and you're like, he's going to play it, but I totally agree. Like, I think SD versus Monkey as a core is just a little too hard.
I actually maybe would want them to put the Monkey as a core, but pick a support that can deal with Brood, maybe like a Spirit Breaker, even though the SD is going to deal with the Monkey later. But I feel that, like, the early game, the problems they had in the early game, in the previous game, might happen again. So they need a support that can at least mirror what the Tusk and SD is doing, and at the same time maybe deal with the Brood, which I feel like Spirit Breaker could be a suitable answer here.
Oh, I love the SB in a vacuum, but against SD, it's another hero that can just purge the status resistance.
Yeah, I think something simple like a Snapfire could be really good. It gets you over the shards. It gives you damage to kill the Broodmother as well. The 1-2 pairing with the Sand King, and they do ban it out.
Yeah, they're thinking along the same lines as you guys. There is just something so synonymous about Crystallis and this Monkey King that they're thinking comfort on the verge of elimination. Do you really? You do not
want. Yeah, you don't want to overcomplicate the draft. I think Heroic is doing exactly that, because these combination of these 4 heroes, I don't think we've seen them in, I would say, a couple of years, because it just doesn't happen.
It's not easy to execute this. This is a hard draft for Heroic to play, so I really do respect it, but Tundra, in my opinion, it feels like they have the upper hand, at least in terms of, like, ease of execution right now.
If they can survive the early game.
Yeah.
I do feel like if they can do well in the early game for Heroic, I think it's going to be like a very straightforward game. They're going to pressure, take the map with the Brood. So for Tundra, it's going to be up to them to decide where this Monkey King is going to go right now. It's going to be a tough decision here. They're going to have some time here to figure things out. Ban on a Lifestealer.
mean, if you want to catch, I think Disruptor is a good one. He's still in the pool. You can play him
I mean, there's still
4 or 5,
there's still
and
the
it doesn't.
Tiny they had last game.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like Tiny is just a fine.
He's fine as well. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the better setup for Sunstrike, level 1 with the stun.
Okay, we got a carry Underlord.
Wait,
Crystal's carry Underlord. I mean, it's a
Most likely.
It's a brute answer.
yeah.
It also destroys Tusk. Like you can never Blink Snowball save
Yeah,
anyone when
this-
you're playing against Underlord. You do have a cleave.
This is a very good solution, yeah.
I'm curious about the Underlord Pudge lane. I can't say that I've seen that one before.
That is actually not a fun lane. I think that lane is going to be annoying because Pudge does a lot of magic damage to you.
He does, but Underlord has a lot of right-click damage.
So does Pudge with Rotten
But
Core.
that's true, actually. You might be able to 1v1 that.
I think the lane should be in favor of the Pudge.
That's kind of where I was leaning too. But for the game, this is definitely really good. They've answers to the Broodmother. I mean, Heroic is really lacking in team fight right now. So I wonder, do they pick a carry that fixes that?
A Gyro Luna type of hero?
I mean, it could also be a Brood carry still.
It feels like both of these teams still have that potential to mix things up at the last moment. I'm going to wait to see what Heroic think exactly for themselves.
I think I kind of like the Gyro Luna SF kind of hero right now. It gives them like the presence in a team fight because their heroes right now, they're all single targets.
Imagine they just... Okay, I was going to say...
Wait, what? Brute is carry?
We gotta wait. Hopefully these guys are gonna start picking. It is a Pudge carry.
Pudge carry.
It's a
Pudge carry
versus Underlord carry.
Yep.
What a time to be alive.
Okay, Whisper Phoenix. I mean, that should hypothetically do very well in lane against an Underlord. You know, you talked about the magic damage of a Pudge. Phoenix may be one of the few heroes that does more than that, and from a range as well.
Yeah, they're basically trying to find a replicate to what happened in the first game. Like Bat Rider is like a hero that can present a lot with the early game, with the Marcy last game. Right now they have a similar setup with the Phoenix and Tusk. So they are having a very similar game plan where they want to try to pressure the lane to a point where Tundra has to rotate a lot of heroes to one side of the map, and they're gonna take full control with like the Brute.
Heroic, they need to win the lanes. Like, they need to heavily snowball because this lineup, it can't really team fight against Tundra. They also have a bit of a global presence, not just a bit of a. You have Underlord with his ulti, you have Invoker, you have Silencer as well, so they can disengage a team fight, bring the numbers relatively easy. Heroic is in a very tough spot, I would say. If the lanes don't go well, this is just a super strong draft coming out from Tundra, and they adapted really well after what happened in that game number 1.
What about this Monkey King position 4, though? Someone that we have seen it on is 9 class. He's very chaotic. Is Saxa going to be playing it the same way? Is there even a different way to play Monkey?
No, I think 9 class figured it out. And I think Saxa has that respect for 9 class that he's just going to... He probably watched those replays and he's like, okay, I see. This is really good. He's going to do the exact same thing. I agree with full cost. I feel like this is a very high degree of like difficult execution for Heroic. I respect that they did it. I think it's really cool. If they win, it'll be in a very flashy, stompy way. But I think Tundra has a lot more options this game than they did last game.
All right, we're looking towards Tundra, just exactly what they can bring out here, because this is for elimination. So let's head on down to the stage with Slacks and their coach, Moon Meander.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're here with Moon Meander. Moon, so great to see you once again, and quite an interesting draft that you are up against, my friend. You knew the Pudge was coming, banned it last time. They're going to first pick it. Were you expecting this? You think you have enough?
Yeah, we were expecting it. We knew they flex it, but we felt like the bad Earthshaker were more annoying flexes, and we just lost to it, so we got to respect it.
Yeah, big respect bans on that bat. Don't blame you. But let's talk about the Broodmother coming in halfway through the draft. Surprised me. Did that surprise you? Because I see your team, it is all AoE team fight, baby. You guys are ready for something like that.
Yeah, I told my team against this guys, they're flexing everything, and we're drafting like good old honest men, so we're going to get whomped. This game we have to play more sneaky in the draft.
Absolutely. All right, but you do have a lot of favorites on there as well. I need to hear the prediction. This is for elimination, as I'm sure you know. Are we going to be seeing a Game 3?
For sure.
All right, and any words out there to the crowd? We're cheering for Tundra!
For Whitemon!
For Whitemon! All right, let's throw it into the game.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 time now, ready to go. Can Tundra hold on here at the International and push us to a Game 3? Fog, what do you make of these lineups? We're getting a lot of fun stuff coming in. I mean, not some fun stuff as well. We're getting a spider, but the way it was picked right, they had confidence. They showed it as their 3rd pick here, Heroic. They have no fear against Tundra.
No, really interesting stuff we got coming out. 2 heroes that are actually all 3 cores in a way, right? Not traditionally played in these positions, maybe on most teams, but Heroic. Very ready to play these, and I'm glad that we actually mentioned a bit toward the end, or not the end, but even in the middle of the game before. Whisper playing his Batrider, 2 favorite offlaners he likes to play, Batrider and Phoenix. This one, he's going to be playing the Phoenix. Let's see if Tundra has this style that's going to be able to work for it, because they also have Silencer, which has traditionally been a pretty good hero versus Phoenix in lane because of the, you Arcane Curse him, you last word him. If he does get in a bad position, the dive is going to return you to that position because of the silence. And also in mid-game, right? The global is very, very detrimental versus that hero. So let's see what we get going as Tundra. Does feel like they've adapted, pivoted their draft to have a better chance inside that mid-game, but Heroic definitely with another draft that could get some pretty big snowballing in terms of laning phase. I'm looking at the 2 supports, of course, because I think that was the best support play I've seen from Heroic in this tournament, even in the early game. They did everything. They killed lanes, stacked, blocked camps, got ward vision. It was beautiful. So let's see what we do get this time.
Yeah, with this support combo here again, should be able to achieve similar things, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely still going to have that once again with the Shadow Demon, and throwing the Tusk into the mix is going to be feeling pretty nice as well.
It feels similar, right? Like Tusk is pretty much a Marcy in a way, right? He's got the snowball save for positioning. And then that SD, of course, is just the exact same hero. So, yeah, let's see how the lanes in particular go down, because Tundra, they struggled from very early on in that last game.
And what do you expect sort of from Analog on the Spider this game? As we said, picked relatively early in the draft compared to where you maybe expect to see a Brood. Not that we're really seeing a lot of Brood at the moment in this tournament. But overall, is this a difficult game for him? Have they very much picked heroes that are going to be able to stop what the Brood wants to be doing?
They've got ways to always protect versus these Spiderlings, especially early on. With the Sand King, the Underlord, the Monkey King, they have good ways to scout as well. So not too sure the build that Analog's going to go. I know some players like these Orchid kind of run over builds. I've seen other players like this Conda Poke Phylactery build. I'm not too sure which one Analog likes to actually play with, so I'm curious to see what he wants to actually go for here. And yeah, let's see top. Overall, if Tundra's able to have a better time, because they got destroyed in this top lane. Just off of level 1 pretty much from the start of things. So.
We sort of had Chrysalis ended up dying a couple of times.
I mean, they already died once. Like in the last one, Toby had already died as the Pugna, so already getting to play a normal lane. And this Underlord pick, right? This has been it's a Tundra classic now at this point for the carriers. Bottom sucks.
Bottom, he's in trouble. He's going to try and stand his ground against Yuma. We'll get the Boundless Strike off, but the poison stacks up and a little bit of a pause.
Yeah, it looked like he looked like he was not attacking or something ended up happening there as Yuma.
And what are we going to see off the back of this? Is 33... He's fine, right? He's got a Burrow Strike. In fact, can he kill the Pudge?
Unlikely.
Shouldn't be enough, right? Because Sandstorm's still going to be on cooldown for a few seconds.
He's got Tango going as well, so...
Yeah, so...
Should be okay.
Probably will just head back here, 33. We'll see. Maybe he tries to go aggressive.
Maybe there's a Sunstrike.
Oh, that's true.
I'm checking mana. No. So 33. He'll swap to KJ.
Doesn't want to commit with the Burrow level 1. Feels it's not going to be enough damage to get a kill in return.
Heroic, this is what they want. They just want constant kill threat in these lanes, but we do have to watch for these Sunstrikes, right? BZM is going to be looking for those with the stuns that he does have from the setup, especially in this bottom lane. Has to make sure he doesn't use too much of his mana, though, sometimes on this Invoker when you're playing versus Broodmother. And Brood used to be the literal nightmare for Invoker in the mid lane, so BZM does have to make sure that he stands his own and keeps at least some mana healthy.
Yeah, already starting to get that pressure on and play underneath the tower.
Yeah,
a good amount of denies in.
Hey, when this level 6 comes, I'm wondering what Tundra wants to do in terms of moving things, because even though the new build with the Invoker is the Dominator, I don't know if it's enough to handle the Brood Spiders that just start coming in. We'll have to see how BZM ends up handling that. Bottom 33, you mentioned to me actually something I did want to talk about. You said the win rate for him so far. He's actually 0-3 on the Sand King so far in this tournament, so let's see if it ends up being a bit better for him this time around, because most people, they're playing at mid lane, so definitely interesting to point out.
Top lane. Oh, but to get the trap here onto Toby with the shards. Toby, he'll go down. See if he can set up for Chrysalis to find kills and return the firestorm back up. Whisper tries to dive away.
He didn't Lotus.
Tundra will be able to get the trade.
I guess he probably thought he wasn't going to live anyway, but Whisper did not pop the Lotus on himself. Nice Chrysalis, just the cleave. Whenever you get these kills, extra damage, he's going to pick up his boots.
Yeah, it's got a good amount of strength as well with these early stat items that he's picked up, so it's definitely kitted out to deal with the harassment that Heroic are trying to throw down on him.
Don't want to hemorrhage too many kills now up here on Tundra, though, because the Urn, it is finished up now on the Phoenix. That is that big power spike, especially in the early laning phase. If you do get these stacks up, can just constantly pose kill threat. Yeah, and it's interesting to see mid laners that, you know, we have two mid laners that don't play with bottle. We're actually going to have no bottle in a game, Owen. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how they want to play around power runes in particular throughout the game. Because it usually ends up being a lot of rotations around those power runes to secure and refill. Yeah, neither of them are going to have that. 33. Big poison stacks.
Yeah, still getting very good farm out of this lane at 33. We see that at the moment, top 2 CS.
And he'll always have those stacks to go back to at some point. Sure, not just yet, but eventually. We do know how Tundra likes to play with those, and most of these Sand Kings like to play with stacks. Might even go get one set up now on the side of 33 since his lane is not in a good position. Saksa will also start getting stacks going. He's going to deward the block that came out from King Jungles.
Oh, we're sitting in the mid. BZM very much able to get some good denies in now in turn. Now that he's got the levels and the Forge Spirit.
Yeah, I didn't get this. I was trying to keep track, but it's too hard to. I don't know how many of those denies were Forge Spirits, or if they were lane creeps in particular, but I can actually check at least based off of net worth a bit there. But it's pretty much even between the two at the moment, so.
It's close. It's just going to be a case of, you know, how we're seeing change up when the 6 has been hit. We're seeing early pressure coming in as both supports have turned up. They will respect the TP rotation coming in, though. They'll hold back for now.
Nice, similar to last time, right? Heroic looking to get aggro.
And they're trying to go for Analog here with a cold snap, but he has backup at King Jungle. Still going to take a lot of damage, though, from that one.
Ice Wall off the mark. If that connects, very likely it's just a kill. No Sunstrike mana. Saksa will find a courier pickup. Bottom lane has kind of been broken a bit, but now 33 with the wave pushing in, we'll be able to get a little more out of it. And rotations, actually.
Indeed, early move here. Pre-level 6. Maybe seeing if he can catch Chrysalis whilst low.
He is very
Schofield's going to be able to provide the setup.
Schofield's right on him.
I mean, this is buying time for Yuma to close in. Not somewhere where you expect to find the Pudge turning up at this point, the carry Pudge. Yuma's here, and we'll be able to make sure that he can take Chrysalis down.
That was a heads up. Someone must have indicated, right? Chrysalis is low HP. Schofield probably saying it that he can find that. That was a very, very heads up move there. Oh, scan, I see. Beautiful. So good identification from them. Tundra, okay, so this is the option I guess they're doing. Bringing the 3 heroes to push away Analog. But the Spiders, they will start to rack up. BZM, Dominator, getting closer and closer.
Yuma, after finding that kill, can head back to the bottom lane and pretty freely farm. I mean, if you're Tundra, where would you imagine you're looking to bring the first move? Or are you not? Is this going to be a pretty passive opening for Tundra?
I feel like it would be pretty passive until the blink comes out from 33. They can get kills with the Sunstrike on some of these situations, but they're actually going to lose their Shrine of Wisdom here too. And they know it's happening.
That's
so
pretty
they're
big.
Choosing to not even contest their Shrine.
I mean, Tundra's looking towards the mid. They'll get the setup onto Analog. It's an easy kill here for the 2 of them.
All right, so prioritizing helping out BZM, then taking
and they
their own
should
Shrine.
be able to find Whisper as well, surely. He's got the egg.
He does, and he has Fire Spirits in 2 seconds.
He's able to get them off. He's not able to do it. Ends up going down.
The last word. Sometimes Silencer can really do this versus Phoenix a lot. Can be very, very annoying in the early game. And, I mean, even in the mid game, at all stages in particular.
Yeah, big couple of kills there for Tundra to find, pretty much on their side of the map, with Analog getting caught under the tier 1 and Whisper getting caught strolling through the jungle.
And it was a choice they made. They gave up their Shrine of Wisdom.
I was thinking about maybe going for that, but Yuma didn't end up stepping quite close enough.
Yeah, that's BZM. He's got the Dominator finish. So overall, versus the Broodmother, he's 500 ahead. I think Tundra's pretty happy, at least with this current lane setup that has gone down. Secondary Shrine, of course, we see. Heroic will be able to claim that one for themselves, so good jump of experience. Saksa will go check it, but it's already been taken.
Easy hook for Yuma. Gets the grab on Toby. We'll see Cold Snap come in and try and put a stop to it, but Toby's already gone. BZM unlikely. Maybe with the help of 33, they can find something. Chrysalis ready to join as well. Ice Wall not going to catch them. So Heroic should be fine to get away. So that's 33 and Chrysalis both turning up. But BZM didn't quite have enough control to set up for Tundra to do anything in response.
Yeah, Tundra's got the the opportunities in the map to be able to have a lot of heroes just very quickly. With the Underlord, with the Sunstrike, right? It's kind of this pseudo hero being there as well too. So trying to react to some of Heroic's move, but don't get a kill out of that reaction.
All in all, close start though.
Definitely.
Nobody getting completely shut down. Just overall, really, Yuma sticking ahead by a little bit extra here as he's had a very clean start as the carry pudge. 2-0-1, and he's ready to maybe see if he can find someone again up on this top side of the map.
Whisper's got the Vessel coming on the courier too, Saksa.
Up in the trees, and he's able to get the hook. He knows exactly where he's jumped up to. Yuma ready to grab him and claim another kill for himself.
Giving him the last hit too.
Very nice moves here from the carry pudge, knowing exactly when to swing across to the other side of the map and find these opportunities.
Might be able to find the tower out of this too. Early pressure from Heroic. They're going to be able to get the secondary tower, perhaps mid.
So they can punish Analog. They should be able to with the three of them. So he's pretty speedy, actually. In fact, he might just be speedy enough.
Looks to be just okay. It's
close. The last tick pretty much gets him. They needed that, Tundra. They get it. Same time down bottom. Global Silence is going to come in as Tundra attempting to chase down the Shadow Demon. Sunstrike, beautifully placed by BZM, will secure the kill.
Very big kills around the map. Literally the last tick, it looks like, on the Broodmother that they're able to get that one there. And it looks like he has shown his build, so he is going to be going down the Orchid route that we were perhaps expecting, but I'll say the same thing as I said about the last Orchid, that sometimes if this item doesn't snowball, it can fall off very quickly. Yuma, bottom. Sox is looking for a setup, but decides against it.
Chrysalis was prepared to join.
No Sunstrike man, I believe, on BZM, otherwise maybe he does commit for the play.
Top. So far they step up. I mean, Schofield's looking at this, but still hard for Whisper to play into this anytime that Silencer is around. Toby going to be ready with the spells to trip up the combo.
Chrysalis, he's got his item that he does do on his Underlord, as we mentioned. This is his carry that he's played throughout the year. The Mask of Madness, it's done. Can be pretty ridiculous how much damage this hero gets. If he does get even one kill in a team fight, it starts to snowball pretty rapidly. Saksa constantly trying to get tabs of bottom.
Has to be careful.
This time around, King Jungles is a lot lower level than last time. He was level 6 at the 9-minute mark last time, so it's almost 11 minutes in, and the Shadow Demon does not have the Purge available just yet.
How are we doing on the timing for the Blink Dagger for 33? Pretty much has it. Yeah, with this, so... Bottom, Saksa continues to tease around with King Jungles. He's going to commit with the Wukong's command. They want King Jungles dead. He'll get the disruption off. See if Yuma's able to do anything to help out. He'll get the aggressive hook in towards him. Tornado comes in to put a stop to the Dismember and gives Saksa a chance to survive. Sunstrike connects. BZM helping out here, but the stun comes in, holds back Saksa, so Yuma will survive. And Saksa...
Body blocks?
Jump his way out of this. He can... Ooh, he actually gets up to the trees, but the tick damage from Whisper will put an end to it.
Oh, that was so close to them getting the Pudge as well. Yuma, the Tornado was literally just on the clip. Almost finding it there with BZM. Action-packed early game, 66. Both teams matching each other's aggression. And now Tundra, as you said, with this Blink Dagger on 33, feeling much more confident for the team fight. Global also at the ready for Toby.
Oh yeah, they're ready to go down bottom, and we can see it here with this smoke. So Heroic, how prepared are they for this? They lose the support, they'll take it. And 33 is going to be in with the jump. And Whisper is going to show himself. Snowball there buying a little bit of safety for Schofield. Sunstrike's going to be off the mark this time with the Boundless Strike, and the Sandstorm damage will be enough to bring Schofield down.
And Whisper, he did use the dive. They're looking for him. He gets...
The egg's they're going to just kill that egg very, very easy. So Tundra turning up now as a team, showing much better of a chance than they had in game one here with these sort of efforts.
Super aggressive moves that we see coming out from them. Saksa, he almost has his Dominator now finished too, so the numbers, they're starting to get them to rack up. The Brood, Analog has to play his own game. He doesn't want to look to turn up to those fights until he does have his desired item. I mean, it will take some time for him.
He's going to have to do a lot, but as you say, even if he does get this timing and turns up, they do have ways to deal with the Brood and the Spider Army.
Absolutely. Lots of different ways, either from the Cleave or from just the spells from the Invoker and the Sanking. 2K lead now for Tundra. And their economy game, as we said, the Dominators, they are online, so that economy very likely to continue growing as well. They are able to do this creep-cutting shenanigans, as we have seen time and time again from this Monkey King. This time it being Saksa, so we'll see how much damage he can do, but 9 class made it look actually broken, so.
Having a much smoother entrance into this game too, as opposed to game 1 Tundra.
Yeah, and they've slowed down the aggression in particular, right? Whisper and Schofield in that last game, they completely ran rampant. This time around, a lot slower for them.
33 still with the epicenter and in the neighborhood down bottom if there is a chance to fight.
Looking to set up for a play here.
They could try and burst Whisper. He's got to be a bit careful. If 33 gets the chance to go for this, he will. Whisper holding back.
They were trying to cut the tree there. Saksa being very annoying. Saw that Whisper tried to go for that dive play, but won't be able to. Heroic looking to finish up these next items. The Aghanim's very soon done for Yuma. Perhaps that's when they'll look to accelerate things a bit more. But Tundra are getting to just... Tundra's getting to do what they wanted to do this game, is sit back and hit some creeps.
I mean, it's going to be this double timing, right? Aghanim's on Purge and Orchid on Brood are pretty much going to hit at the same time. So as soon as those are both out, which will be very, very shortly, you got to imagine that Heroics, they're going to make the move immediately.
Yeah. But they do have to watch out, because there's a lot of counter-aggression from Tundra. There's a lot of global aspect. You know, there's literally global silence, a global teleport, and that global Sunstrike too. So even if you run into 1 or 2 heroes, it can be multiple more in a way very quickly.
They've got the money here for the Orchid, so that'll be on the way out. And
I believe that's
Aghanim's done. Do they have a smoke between them?
They do.
King Jungles is ready if they want to make that move.
Let's see where they do want to look to go. The scan will come out, catches 33 Toby.
And they get the setup. I mean, this is the thing, as you said, if the Silencer finds you first as the Phoenix.
It's so hard to play Phoenix from Silencer.
But as we saw in the draft, you know,
they picked it into
they didn't care. They wanted to still run this.
Global was used. Saksa setting up on top. BZM.
He's going to step out. And with the Wukongs, Saksa's ready to take King Jungles down. And Yuma, he's got to run.
He is very isolated. 33 is here.
And they can keep hunting him. Or a strike, not going to connect, but closes the gap onto Yuma. Same time, Analog will be able to kill off Chrysalis. This chase chop continuing, though.
His team's coming. They're coming through the portal.
See what they can do. He gets the dismember off, but will be put on top of the cold snap. And indeed now Tundra, they might be the ones that have to run. Snowball closes it onto 33. He's looking to get the upset off, but the punch up's there.
And Saksa.
And they've got the silence in from Analog straight over towards him. Dive forward from Whisper. Heroic will take this fight, as indeed it seemed like Tundra, they were not prepared for the rest of Heroic to come across and help out.
So close, that Sunstrike almost getting him.
I mean, it all started
Quick connection.
on the other side of the map. Heroic getting that kill against Chrysalis and then being able to turn it into so much more.
Schofield, looks like they're moving for a play on him, but
I mean, Analog's still around. He could come in from the side. Ice Wall will slow Analog down for now.
Schofield.
He should be fine, but only just. Sunstrike off the mark this time. Was worth the shot, though.
That is dangerous for BZM. A couple more seconds if he lingers up there. Analog, if he had a couple more spiders,
he would have got in on him.
For it.
Yeah, that Ice Wall sort of saved his life there, holding back Analog.
Yeah, just literally clipped him right on the edge of it. Big kills for Heroic, getting things back into their way. On that timing that they were looking for. Whisper in the area here, too. He's got level 2 egg with Veil.
They're looking at 33, and they're straight in with the Orchid. Supernova as well. They're easily going to be able to burn down the Sand King.
Good aggressive plays coming in from them. The Orchid, it is working.
Absolutely.
A couple pickoffs already with it.
Yeah, from sort of the bottom play on a Chrysalis and then coming forward to the top and now onto 33 here off the respawn.
Yep.
He's doing a lot here, Analog,
and
as was going to be required.
And he's going to be going down just right-click build, right? He's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage in this game if he gets the BKB. It's a really value BKB game, Owen. It counters quite a lot of Tundra if they're able to get it at good timings on these cores. It's a lot of magic damage and control that Tundra has. The physical damage is mostly going to be from the Underlord, but he doesn't have the easiest way into these fights a lot of times versus a Tusk versus a Shadow Demon.
Yeah, has to get this BKB online as soon as he can, Chrysalis.
Does. Yeah, and he's pretty close to it, to be fair.
He is. He's making good steps towards it. Still top net worth at the moment here on the carry Underlord.
Just does have to watch out. You know, he can't just get focused with the Purge because he is literally priority Purge target #1 in this game from the Shadow Demon. Okay, it looks like Saksa is going to go down. Okay, go. What he's queuing up at least. He's queuing up the pipe. That can be pretty interesting versus the mass magic damage that comes out from the Phoenix and the Pudge.
Definitely going to take a bit of time to get online.
Yeah, quite some time. BZM, Aghanims getting closer and closer. big wombo combo that can definitely come out. Sure, it's not the Exort one, but this is the one that he likes to play with anyway.
Radiant are scanning.
See if they end up searching this top half fully, because Analog is around. They'll know it now.
Ooh, he is being sneaky, though. 33. Does he want to go for the play?
It's difficult to find him. He's going to look towards him. We'll get the Burrow Strike. Sax is ready to help out as well. Burrow into the Boundless and the Sunstrike. Analog will try and hide in the trees, but he is surrounded. Tundra, find the spider.
In the meanwhile, Heroic was looking to make a play elsewhere, but nobody is currently down here.
I mean, if they continue to move in the triangle, they might meet Crystallis, but looks like they're not going to go all the way there.
Saksa, is he going to be able to break the smoke too? Or are they going to find Crystallis?
They might find him. They're a little split up. They're not fully following King Jungles right now into that area, so...
And now bottom, her Whisper might get set up on him himself. Toby is down here.
Does have the Global Silence ready to use.
Structures are fortified.
Whisper's not going for a Dispel, which is a bit interesting to say. He's just going full aggression.
See top, they get in with a jump. Ooh. Massive amounts of burst there to take down the Pudge. We'll see Heroic try and turn. Global's going to be popped, but already 33 burning down low here from the damage of Whisper in the vessel. So Heroic will get the trade for that dive.
Whisper was kind of close to getting that snowball too. That was actually relatively close with that 4-step play that he went for there. And yeah, Whisper, he's going full aggression, Owen. So not worrying about the Silencer in particular, at least not just yet, as he's gone for this Shivas plus Vessel route. Very early Shivas again, just like he did last time. It's a ton of magic damage he's going to be kicking off in these fights.
Yeah, it's kind of that's the thing, right? Even if they do get the curses, the silences onto him, it's a high chance he's able to survive through it with that Shiva's Guard.
Yeah, perhaps so. And maybe he's just having a lot of confidence in Schofield just protecting him in some of these situations too. As smoke from Tundra. BCM and Saksa paired up.
I've got the setup. King Jungles will get the disruption off.
He's just fine.
But Wukong's is there. So King Jungles will fall.
Can Saksa get out is the question.
He's pretty slippery as the Monkey King. So should be fine.
Looks like he will.
Oh, they're going to try and chase. Does get clipped by the Shivas, so we'll start taking a fair bit of damage here for the Vessel as well. But yeah, one of those heroes that you really don't want to spend too much time chasing, especially when it's the support. He's just too slippery.
Yeah, I thought perhaps they could get actually a kill on the retreat there, since it took some time to bring down the SD, but not the case. 2 TPs there from Heroic, and they're going to lose their mid tower now out of it from the split push from Tundra. Tundra manipulating the map. A 3K lead now for them.
Yeah, BZM picking up the farm very nicely. He's going to soon have the bots as well, so...
More global.
All across the map. Lotus Orb as well for 33, so we'll have a bit of a better chance of just getting in there and surviving against some of the single target that Heroic are trying to throw down on him to control him.
And Crystallis, he can turn up to these fights now. As we said, he did disassemble, got the BKB, now he's got the Echo Saber as well. He's strong. This damage is pretty ridiculous if he's actually able to connect on these heroes. If he finishes up this Harpoon before the fight, then he can easily pull them in and actually hit targets easier.
I mean, so what do you look for if you're Heroic? You know that any sort of play that you try and make, it is going to be answered by Tundra. So what would you imagine the call is now from Heroic?
I think they can still fight. They've got their double BKB timing as well. So it's just going to be of execution inside of that team fight. Who gets that initiation?
Schofield. And Whisper here. 33's going to find the setup. They'll drop the global. It's a dead Phoenix. Not a chance with the silences coming into play.
45 seconds.
I mean, they might look for more Schofield. Get the T-Ward. We'll be able to slide away with the Force Staff, and does have Yuma by his side.
Tundra wants Tormentor here. That's their ideal here. So Heroic might look
they want to go
for the fight, but they don't have like their strongest hero.
Sure, Yuma's he's drawn the line on the map, so he wants to get over it, but this Tormentor dies too quickly here to the full 5 mana Tundra, so not a chance to interrupt that. Maybe a chance to still find a kill.
They're looking for the catch on the retreat. They have a deep ward placed.
Can they catch Crystallis?
Find Crystallis here. BKB.
They are. They're going to get the hook in.
Smart play.
Toby. He will get away in time before King Jungles comes a-looking.
Tundra will get away with what they wanted. BKB was used from Crystallis. You know, we said how important it is this game, but there is going to be a lot of tools that do go through it.
Bottom. Let's see Whisper turn up. Sax is in trouble. Analog's ready to commit as he pops the BKB. He stays on top of the Monkey King and is able to kill him off through the Wukong's command. Wasn't able to fight back that time. Saxa does still have BZM around. Now they know that there might be a chance to get in on this. 33 makes the jump. Epi Burrow Strike and the Meatball coming down to take Analog out. They get the curse down on a Whisper. Whisper trying to push back against Toby and BZM. BZM, does he find a chance to get back in on this?
Whisper.
He's going to be falling low. The Sunstrike doesn't connect. And on the side, King Jungle's starting to play around with BZM. Yuma sweeping across. We'll see if we can find the hook. Jump forward. Hook's going to be off the mark. But still, though, the poison's stacking up. The Supernova's going to be successful. They can't kill it. They have to try and run, but BZM, he's dead. Toby continues to get chased, tries for the TP out, but he's gone as Yuma closes in on him. King Jungles finishes him off with the poison.
Oh my! Oh, and I'm so happy that we're doing this series. This just kills everywhere. 15 to 15. Both teams playing around cooldowns beautifully, right? One team sees BKB used, they wait for a second to go in, they catch the target, the Brood dies, but then the backup comes in. Heroic, prepared for that aggression, finding BZM. I mean, where did KJ come from? I mean, he just wrapped around him.
I think, caught Tundra by surprise for sure, but it's definitely one of those moments where, if you were Tundra, you have to go for that move, right?
Absolutely.
33 sees the chance to kill Analog, he has to go for it. The problem is that Heroic indeed were ready to punish it and now has set up the map to get themselves this chance to take the Roshan. Tundra, they're starting to head over. Maybe a Sunstrike? Not going to do anything. They're able to clean it up for themselves and get that Aegis onto Yuma. Saxa.
Yuma gets out too. Tornado doesn't clip him.
Schofield might be left behind.
Oh, that's the champ.
Oh, nice force up to the high ground. Is that going to be enough to save him? It looks like it will. He's got King Jungles by his side. Schofield able to slide away. Saxa is going to try and have the final word about this.
I mean, Schofield has the gem. He is a high priority kill right now.
And they can't chase him. They can't kill him. He gets out. He keeps it safe. And again, one of those games where Whisper, he loves to hold on to the gold. He's nearly got 4,000 gold in the bank on top of this Shiva's Guard. Possibly considering, do you imagine he'll commit for this, the pots of the Midas, or maybe he is thinking BKB or something else?
I'm thinking BKB or Lotus.
Yeah, there we go.
BKB,
he needs it, and it's coming out.
It's too important in this game.
I mean, because we are seeing, if Whisper does manage to get his spells off, like, it's pretty ridiculous how much damage this Phoenix can do, right? So if he's able to pop BKB, get the egg off, it's pretty much impossible for Tundra to fight into.
He also can be more hesitant about just using the egg, right? He can just stand his ground with it.
They're going to get the jump on him.
He dies
See if they got the burst, dive away. The Global Silence will come in, and now the BKB is up, so Whispers can survive and start burning down 33 with the Sunray. 33 will fall. Whisper lives.
Heads up play. I mean, they probably just checked him, and they're like, hey, he's got no extra, and then a BKB just appears out of nowhere, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the strength, right, of saving up this kind of 4,000 gold and then bam, just dropping an item purchase.
That can definitely catch people completely off guard. I don't know if they saw him pick up that BKB there. And yeah, little things that Heroic is doing that's very clever. Even them killing this Roche early, I wanted to point this out. They even used the SD with the disruption with the menace.
I mean, we're definitely seeing as well, it might not be able to put a stop to him jumping away, but the whole kind of dive in Shiva's Guard is very good for trying to scout the area and find where the Monkey King is.
It feels like Heroic is starting to get some pretty good momentum their way. Now having this Aegis also for Yuma, these fights are looking pretty good for them. And 33 does have to be a bit careful because he is starting to fall a little behind, starting to be the sacrifice. And I think having such a great start, that is. He's still in a good position in terms of net worth, but a couple deaths now for 33.
Yeah, BZM at the moment with the more impressive KD on Tundra's side. Well, one of the struggles, though, that has been for Tundra, despite the fact...
BZM, you're mentioning him. He doesn't have his BKB.
Well, they've got the setup. There's nobody coming to help him. He is very, very dead.
King Jungle, that's 2 times that he's
these
just
supports from Heroic are just hunting down and finding these huge opportunities. Same time, Yuma is going to try and chase down Saxa. And the quick curse from Toby should hold Yuma back enough so Saxa will survive, gets out of there. But I think one thing we're seeing, or not seeing right, for Tundra, for all the kills and the fact that they are able to keep up with the pace overall, kind of on an individual level, they're still yet to really find that big fight for Crystallis to be able to pop off, right?
Absolutely.
He's not
been
really
very quiet.
They tried to make those earlier attempts with the Fiend's Gates, but nothing has kind of happened where he's turned up with this top net worth and cleaned up a fight. So far, Heroic, they've been able to dance around any time that Crystallis wants to show up.
No, definitely. And as we said, he's going to be focused a lot in this game from either a Demonic Purge or a Punch or, the potential Sunray if his BKB isn't there.
Yeah, it can be a
lot of damage that can really trip up this Underlord. So we'll have to see what Crystals can do when the fight actually is something that he can actually contribute to. Analog.
Still a minute and a half left on this Aegis, so Yuma will not be afraid of looking to make the moves, and here we go. Smoke up again from Heroic.
Another thing we do have to mention is Heroic, as we see, they have multiple different ways to protect each other. They have either an S3 Disruption, they have snowballs, either these 4-steps. On the side of Tundra, there is a 4-step and a Lotus, as we see.
And the Global, I guess.
And the Global, but it's not the same type of saves.
Sure.
Can be a little harder to bail people out of a bad scenario.
I don't know if Tundra's going to expect Heroic to come from this position.
Hey, Toby.
Yeah, they're going to find the silencer first, so no chance of a Global for the next 50 seconds unless he wants to come in with the buyback play. Crystallis will be found. So 33 comes in with the jump forward to the Burrow Strike, and Yuma pops the BKB. There's the buyback Global coming in from Toby. BZM turns with the Tornado to lock down Schofield into the meatball. Hook to set Schofield to safety. See if there's going to be enough here as he gets in deep with the Snowball, though, as that comes to an end and will die. Whisper pushing forward with the BKB, just having a fight on into the epicenter. The Wukon's command laid down. Whisper dives in. He's got the Supernova at the ready. Tundra, they've got to back off, but Sax is not going to get the chance as Analog takes him down. Tundra, can they get back in after this Supernova? That's the question. BZM trying to look for any sort of opportunity. Crystallis, he's got himself stuck. What? He's going to get hooked. The Sunray comes in. The Tornado will put a stop to the Dismember at least, but Yuma in on top of Crystallis.
He's gone.
Oh my goodness, he didn't want to do that. He got stuck. He came through the Fiend's Gate, ended up getting stuck and set up for an easy hook. The fight continues though. 33 pops the BKB, will get in with a Burrow Strike on a Whisper, but Yuma's back in. Hook there, straight to the face of 33, takes down another, and the rest of the remedies are surround Toby. The fight, it's a bloody one, but Heroic will come out on top, and I guess you got to be careful with where you're coming in with the Fiend's Gates, right? You can't be too close to these kind of pincer points of the map, because you just might get stuck and hooked.
He also, at that point too, he had no BKB. He was getting melted from the Sunray that was coming in from above. Also, the start of this fight, 33, this was also 70 seconds ago, so I'll quickly revamp, but 33, his Epi, his blink got stopped, I believe, from the Phoenix, so he couldn't actually jump in with Epi pre-Aegis timing. So they're actually missing a lot of damage on Tundra, and Tundra, that was a buyback from Toby as well.
It was
to
as
bring
well,
the
yeah,
global,
it really was.
And they still lose the fight.
That's rough. We'll see it again here.
You see this? So this, I believe, is where 33 in a couple moments here. He ends up Lotus reflecting the Dismember, but you see he's going to start trying to rev up this Epi soon, and it ends up getting canceled, I believe, from Whisper, who walks on top of him.
So at this point, you know, Tundra know that there's still a chance of getting back in on this.
Yeah, and there you see it. Whisper, he walks right on top of him, prevents the blink, I believe, just from his facet, that is, the burn that he's able to provide from the Dying Light. And then, yeah, Analog comes in and gets some good cleanup.
Yeah, he's able to clean up the supports very easily at the moment on this Brood. And then Crystallis, we see, tries to Fiend's Gate deep into the fight, but he's just stuck on the steps. It's an easy hook for Yuma.
I don't think I've seen that before. I guess the steps is just, with the size of the gate, it just blocks you. All right, noted. Do not use Fiend's Gate on the steps, unless you're blocking
pretty scary.
Enemies. 33. So he tried his best. The Healing Lotus actually ends up making him get that secondary kill, but yeah, Yuma with the follow-up.
I mean, he just got so much there on the cleanup there as the Pudge.
Yeah, that Aegis usage kind of perfect for the side of Heroic. And some big timings now, speaking of Heroic more, a refresher now for the Pudge, so double rounds of that BKB plus bite. And I believe Analog is about to have Bloodthorn, which is an insane damage increase for him. I believe he hit 20 as well. It's not as ridiculous as talent it used to be. I really believe this one was once 80 or 70 attack speed. Now it's only 35, but still substantial. As Heroic prepared for the fight.
Tundra, though.
Look at the ward they've got placed, Owen, again. I don't even know when they placed these, but somehow Heroic is so sneaky with these this series.
They sense something, though. Crystallis backing away.
33.
He might get found instead. They get him with the jump. Global has to come in, but they're going to have to follow up and get the Burrow Strike off. A 33 BKB won't save him. They still get the kill.
Yuma does pop his refresher, though. Does have the secondary BKB available, but they will get a massive kill. 33 gets brought down. 65 seconds. They also use the global. So Heroic, see what they want to use with that time.
Tundra still trying to stay out on the map around the mid.
And look at these builds. So, as we said, you know, when you're playing versus certain heroes, sometimes too, you start changing. It's going to be a Greaves from King Jungles to be able to dispel that global. At least off of himself. Then he can potentially go for these save plays.
See what they get going with the shard. It's going to be going the way of Yuma.
Not bad.
So far, should be definitely having an impact. We have been seeing Yuma hit the hooks.
He has been, absolutely. Even sometimes to save allies. Yuma.
BZM's got to be a bit careful. Schofield's going to get the jump, and he's got the back of a Saxa. BZM lays down the Wukong, but Schofield's able to get out to the side with the 4-star. Whisper is going to get caught in the pit at the side. We'll pop the BKB. They'll try and push Whisper out of the fight, but he could be ready to get back in with the Supernova at the ready. Hook off the mark this time round. As Tundra start to back off a little bit, Yuma definitely going to try and go for another grab in a few seconds. Closing in onto Toby. They close the gap onto the silencer. Toby's gone. And all right, they could still look for more.
33's respawn. He's coming down.
See what they do here. Saxa, vision onto Whisper.
Heroic, they're backing up.
I mean, can Tundra find a catch and return?
It looks like they really want to here.
It's hard though. Yuma's still very ready to fight. Even with the BKB gone, he's so beefy now. 3,500 HP.
They do have triple BKB at the ready on the cores on Tundra.
Can they find the fight?
Heroic.
Saxa is ready to lead in. Hook's not going to find him, but they do catch him with the silence and the harpoon. As they drag him in, take him down. Schofield will fall in return. Tundra get the trade. They still have to be very cautious though. As we say, Whisper still ready with the Supernova if the fight goes down.
Analog
on a larger scale.
Analog still has all of his stuff up as well too. He's actually gone Disperser instead of going that Bloodthorn for now.
Dive forward. They get the Dismember. BZM did get the BKB off. Global Silence there to put a stop to the Dismember and give BZM the chance to get out. As he'll back off, Chrysalis trying to get hits in, but it's still very difficult. The hook, not quite long enough to grab Chrysalis this time.
And Chrysalis is sitting at like 700 damage, but he can't hit targets. He was alacrity'd up, so he literally was doing about 700, but they're kiting him. The reset comes out. Heroic, they did have to use a buyback there, but still getting a good advantage in terms of net worth there. Up to a 6K lead. And that was that Soxa gem or was that their own secondary gem? I actually didn't check, sorry. It was their own secondary gem, okay. Smoke up, Heroic, feeling strong. A full refresher also on Whisper.
Oh boy.
These fights look hard for Tundra.
So much relies on Toby having the global silence up.
And he is only going to have one ever. And he is quite poor this game on. He is by far the bottom net worth in this game.
Chrysalis, they've got eyes on him.
Might get purged.
They was hit the side. Whisper's been able to cut the tree of Saxa. Saxa's got to pop the pipe and run.
Chrysalis
gonna get in on top of him. Yuma in with the BKB. Chrysalis trying to trade back and does have 33 ready to go at the side. Schofield will help to finish on Saxa. 33 ready to make the jump into the trees, but Yuma, he'll kite them out. They'll come in onto Analog, but the defensive hook comes in. Yuma saving Analog. Ready to move back in now with his own BKB. The Supernova's there, the punch up as well. Chrysalis is gone. Hook will catch onto the helm of the Dome Creep, meaning that 33 should be able to sneak away, or maybe not. The Shiva's slow coming in from Whisper. They'll put the refresher. He's ready for a second Shiva's guard in on top of them, chasing and burning down both 33 and BZM as 33 will try and hide in the sandstorm, but the spirits connect. Whisper brings him down.
Oh, and they're starting to steamroll the coverage, the team fight, the spell casting is insane. The saves on each other too, just hooking each other out of these little situations. Crystals can't stand and fight almost ever. And Whisper, I mean, we're seeing why he doesn't care about that silencer.
Absolutely
why
not.
He doesn't care about these little small dispels. He's all about this aggro play. Insane performance from him so far.
If Tundra don't have global ready to press, there just seems to be not a chance for them in these team fights, even with the BKBs and such. And as you say, just here, the fact that both Yuma and Analog are sort of able to dance around this carry Underlord, not give Chrysalis any sort of chance to get the damage done. And even here, when the Burrow Strike connects, Yuma separating Analog from 33 and Chrysalis, keeping one another alive.
Honestly, this is some of the better team fight spellcasting I've seen in quite some time. Heroic, they're just covering each other beautifully. Sometimes, you see these double melee. They're sometimes stacked up on top of each other going for a kill. They're completely aware that 33's looking for these epicenter plays and kind of distancing and gapping it each time. And it's beautiful to watch. The symphony of skill for sure coming in here from Heroic.
I mean, Whisper's just looking terrifying.
He's out of control.
We saw obviously like the Pudge games, and that was just Whisper having some fun. Now the kind of the gloves have come off, and he's bringing out these bats, these phoenixes, and they are looking pretty disgusting.
He's playing his true staples.
Yeah.
For those who do love to watch Whisper play these, he is going completely ballistic so far this game. All three cores top in net worth, and as we mentioned too, the supports, they're still getting a decent amount in Toby. I mean, he's queuing up the refresher, but he has almost...
It's a long way away. But it's what he has to get. The global is so important to provide them a chance in these team fights.
That is surprising. It's giving it Tundra a 52%.
I will see. DoTA Plus has been right in the past.
It also probably has no idea what the hell is happening in this game because we have an Underlord carry, a Pudge carry, right? Things are a bit more bizarre than usual. so far Heroic. Especially in these, I mean, the last 10 minutes, it does feel like they've broken the game quite a bit here with these last few fights. These refreshers do seem like it's adding another stage of difficulty for how Tundra wants to look to fight. There's double BKBs, double Phoenix Egg. Just don't have that many counters versus it. And now a BKB even on the Tusk. So the supports, they have ways to play around Global. Greaves on the Shadow Demon, BKB on the Tusk, Demonic Cleanse on the Shadow Demon. Lots of different ways to cover each other. All right, big neutral items as we see for Tundra. Dazoon on the Sand King, Dazoon on the Invoker.
Plenty big plays here from BZM at 33. Looks going to be there.
Time again.
Ready to make sure that opening combo from Tundra doesn't do a lot.
And remember, this hook, it can catch people off guard because of the crazy low cooldown when you hook allies with that shard. Goes down to, what, 6 seconds if he does hook an ally. Picking up the Lincolns next for the Pudge. They're getting close to 25 on all 3 cores on Heroic.
I mean, they've got the Satanic done on Chrysalis, but as we've seen, he needs to get the hits in on the target.
He just can't attack, is the problem.
Yuma, again, making sure that it's not easy for Tundra to open up onto anyone other than the Pudge.
Yuma.
Sacks up. Trying to see what they can force out from him, though. Get the BKB out from Yuma. Tries for the hook. Not going to grab them this time. 33 considering maybe making the jump, but the BKB comes to an end. He's in, but the refresher BKB's there from Yuma.
Heroic looking to disengage.
Tundra pushing Heroic back successfully.
Yuma wants no participation in this without his BKBs. He wants to finish that Lincoln's. Tundra gonna look to try to punish while those BKBs are on cooldown.
Yeah, they've got to be careful who shows here on Heroic, because Tundra very ready to make the jump.
There also is this Aegis at the ready, still for Analog, so...
Even if they do get the connection, it's definitely not going to be an easy team fight for Tundra.
No. And as we said, multiple different saves. So, gotta be careful who you go for. $50 seconds for BKB on Yuma. Starting to inch their way forward. A sneaky ward as we see plays from Toby, but they do see it with their gem.
And Whisper again with this very chill strat, just saving up the money. He's getting very close to having the luxury of picking up that Hex and definitely potentially surprising Tundra with
Honestly, it's a pretty cool approach from him that he's done it
He's doing this a lot in this series, yeah.
It's catching people off guard, and they're giving him XP, so he's about to hit 25.
So yeah, 25, and with a potential full Cypher Vice that he could pick up for the next fight, Whisper.
Level 25 also hit for Analog. Quite a bit stronger in terms of his right-click damage potential. And he has been able to get some right-clicks off.
He really has.
Unlike Chrysalis.
I mean, in these team fights, you know, the supports of Tundra, they got to hide.
They do.
Because this Spider's been finding them time and time again, cleaning them up very quickly.
It's like the hardest game to play Silencer, really, at this point in the game. Right? He's got Force Staff and nothing else. No defensive items possible for him. Tundra. Creep cutting, buying time, trying to waste out this Aegis as much as possible. 50 seconds until it does go away.
What are we seeing next?
Just difficult for them to keep these targets held down, right? As we're saying, like we have to see for the fight for Tundra when they can actually get Chrysalis to hit targets.
Yeah. Because, yeah, are we able to bring up the hero damage done? Just want to see if that does look not too hot, or if he's still been able to do a bit with the Firestorms and such, because that can add up.
It can. I mean, Whispers is probably through the roof, right? His is probably highest, and it's like BZM in 33. But I imagine that the Underlord's damage done is quite a bit lower than the rest of the cores this game. Okay,
yeah, so
I mean, not too bad. All things said.
BZM definitely carrying the team fights, though, in damage output right now.
Yeah. A lot of it just from like little physical poke, too, from his summons, as we see there from the Force Spear and the Dominator.
Yeah, I think it's just that, you know, when you have your carry with kind of like this AC Satanic and soon to be Daedalus, right? You need to have a lot being done by him.
Scofield will not allow them to take that shrine. They'll be able to claim both.
Talking about damage done, so Saxa's got a Deso on the way out.
That's an interesting pickup. From what we've seen and what I've seen most of the times on these Monkey Kings, it is just the Scotty pickup usually is the route that they like to go for, because it applies, of course, with that Wukong's and it's very strong, but looks like he wants to have more physical damage in the draft.
I mean, that's the thing. If they can get the hits in, right, with the Deso, the AC, the Underlord, once he gets the stacks built up, like, the hits are going to be hard.
I'll have to see if it pays off for him.
Saxa. Oh, they're going to find him. Schofield there, catching him with a punch, pretty much sort of mid-chop.
And he also didn't go BKB, right, too. He's gone for the pipe defusal build, but does feel hard for Saksa unless he's literally just playing the tree line during the Wukong. Now we'll have to see if it does pay off for him. Maybe just thinking that they have too much magic damage and they just need straight physical extra, but Heroic, very prepared.
Yeah, Analog's continuing to scale massively after that Disperser, getting the full Bloodthorn. Another Tormentor to take. Schofield will get the shard.
And Schofield is going to start queuing up that Aghanims as well, so will get stronger and stronger in terms of what he can do in the fights. He could just potentially punt the Monkey King out of his Wukongs.
Taking the Monkey King away.
There is no Desolator then from that, or he can just punt the
33.
You know, yeah, he can do a lot this game. Even Crystalis, right?
He's trying to get these hits in. He's getting
immobile hero.
He's going to get kicked away.
This could be pretty annoying.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. I mean, he's struggling to get the hits in as it is. If he's getting kicked in the face, he's going to struggle even more.
Yeah, we'll see it when Schofield is able to get that, as eventually it does seem like he will. We did see also point out Yumo had hit 25, hit one of the stronger 25 timings for a Pudge. That Dismember is incredibly strong when you have two of them at that increased duration.
Yeah, little things as well. Blink online now for King Jungles. So between that, the Force and the Greaves, he's ready to bail heroes out. I mean, we've seen already how good Heroic's lineup is at saving one another in a multitude of fashions, whereas Tundra, very limited if someone gets jumped.
Just so much save. Level 20 as well, something you don't see too often on the Shadow Demons. I always like to point this one out. It's the Disseminate. It's 50% share damage. It is pretty insane how much this can actually dish out. Also just to protect allies and makes them that much tankier. Tundra.
Can they ever really try and go on this Pudge?
They're going to try. Dispel.
Schofield! He's going to make the jump in, closes in, they get the burst strike on a Whisper. Whisper, is he able to survive? BKB's going to be there in time, and he's able to get the Supernova off. They're going to turn straight towards the egg. They'll kill it off successfully. On the back lines, though, King Jungles and Analog chase down BZM. The buybacks coming in from both Whisper and BZM.
Crystalis.
The fight locking down Crystalis. He's going to start to try to heal up, but they're holding back with the disruption. He's going to get surrounded, punched up. Can he actually get the hits off Crystalis? He cannot, as Crystalis is gone out of the fight. 33 will get back in with the Burrow Strike. The Hex to off the Whisper with the BKB, and the second Supernova hits there. They're going to try and kill the egg off with this buyback from Crystalis. The 33's dead. He has to buy back. Crystalis can't kill the egg in time. They're just killing them off one by one. There's a dieback on BZM. This fight's an absolute mess for Tundra. It's Heroic overrunning them. Crystalis trying to hit back, but he get the shards, holding back. There's a dieback on him. They're losing lives left, right, and center, Tundra. They just do not have what it takes to stop Heroic.
They're all dead. All three cores are gone. Heroic's got everything. Whisper with the buyback. They're ready to end it.
They're absolutely ready to move on here in the lower bracket. Heroic ready to go down the mid.
Oh, I mean, Whisper, that's why he's been holding the gold too. He can just buy back, buy an item, join in the fray, and it's done.
GG is called. Heroic will move forward in the lower bracket, knocking out Tundra 2-0.
Unreal team fights from Heroic today. They came in and ready. That was a beautiful display. This last fight in particular too, you can see how confident they were. They saw one hero, their buddy gets jumped, they just jump Whisper with no hesitation. Yeah, he dies, his egg gets killed, but he buys back, jumps into the fray immediately, and they just completely outnumbered them. Tundra, it looks like they don't know what hit them.
I don't think they do that last fight. The chaos that Heroic would bring, just a beautiful culmination of what they've been able to show so far in these two games. I mean, this is sort of the Heroic, but I think people were expecting to see yesterday. We didn't get it then, but today we get absolute peak Heroic.
It's relentless aggression, truly to their name. Schofield, crazy plays from the Tusk. Have to give a ton of credit to the double supports. Both games styling, making crazy moves in comparison. But yeah, what a game overall. Heroic came in with a plan. Their first big Pudge, they flex it, they switch things around. Yeah. They get Whisper on this Phoenix, and my God, if this guy gets Phoenix or Bat in some of these games, it is very terrifying.
Yeah, tough end of the road here for Tundra. Not quite able to do it today. Of course, they did well to come this far, having to play on with the stand-in. Toby obviously doing an excellent job stepping into the role, but was not quite enough today to give them the chance to take a game, let alone the series, against Heroic. I mean, moving forward, right, Heroic, they got to be a pretty nasty team to try and draft against, right? When they're able to pull this sort of stuff out, it's like, are you banning the Pudge? The flexibility they have with it is pretty ridiculous. Yuma gets to show up with it this game.
I mean, Moon said it himself too when he was on the coaching interview. They flex like crazy, so it's hard to predict them, but also they are I'll call them kind of trendsetters in a way, because they're not doing what the meta has been sort of dictated.
No.
Right? How many Dominator plays have we seen? How many creep cutting, teams playing slow, waiting for timings? That is not Heroic. Heroic is just relentless. They're looking for plays, looking for fights, playing on every timing. Yeah, this was a very fun series in particular for the side of Heroic.
And especially to come back after what was a pretty rough game 2 yesterday, right?
Yes.
They were getting kind of outplayed on kind of all fronts in that second game. And then to come in today, and Analog in particular, he stepped it up massively. A beautiful 2 games from him. And to come in with something like this Brood, again, you got to remember, came in as the 3rd pick and still had an incredible impact with this mid-Brood. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Heroic moving on 2-0. They knock Tundra out.
I'm here with Analog from Heroic, who has just secured top 6 at TI, and by the way, the first Brazilians to ever do so. How does that feel?
Feels very good to be here. It's like a dream for all of us. And